Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Bey, all rights reserved. And I'm here with my great and magnanimous friend, and
Alrighty.
Brother Hasan. I was about to actually introduce you. You are?
Namaste, y'all. Namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at northwest of Mexham. How are you? And we about to get our yay on right now, man.
Islam.
Knock out the rest of these questions, right? Y'all see the title, right?
Yeah, happy AstroCivics Sunday, Islam. Happy Sunday, right? Happy Soul Day. Yeah, we're about to get into it. The date is actually January 22nd, 2023, pertaining to the Gregorian calendar. And we're actually gonna jump back into Taj Tarik Bey's jump drive and just go through these questions and just, very impromptu style. It's gonna be just gonna flow with it. But yeah, we're actually gonna go ahead and pull up the Moorish American prayer, and you guys can actually follow along with us if you like, in your minds, in your hearts, or actually.
All right, I will start our invocation then, guys. We're going to face east and stand on 45, like how Prophet Noble Ali is standing there. However, he's standing handsomely in his Moor Sharif fez, standing due guard with his hand at the heart chakra. However, we're going to have 5 appendages on the left extended and 2, the index in the middle on the right, facing east, standing on our 45. And you repeat after me, either aloud or in your heart. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen. All righty, guys. Let's get into these 2 letters we read in every meeting. I yield the floor to my beloved brother, to whom I'm well pleased. He's going to go over the first letter to be read in every meeting. All right, and we're here on, we're within the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions, pages 84 and 85. And I yield the floor to Brother Hasan Bey. Islam.
Islam. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928 AD. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office 3603, Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, founder. Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother Islam, I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me in the movement, now by the same people, our side of the nation, that claim it was only a joke and real. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation for all that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respects to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. Nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause. Noble Drew Ali.
Indeed, indeed. And the second letter to be read in every meeting, guys, is here in the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper. And I will say peaceful greetings to another beloved mother in home and well, please. Mother Malika, all is well. How are you and the fam?
Can y'all hear me?
that was quite the throat clearing there. Yes, we can hear you. Indeed.
I wasn't sure about that.
Indeed, we just knocking out these 2 letters to be read in every meeting. It's interesting that you're coming to at this moment, because the questions we're going over is the last 54 questions in the consular restoration that is actually used as a tool to get a lot of people who are not cognizant like we are, judicially speaking, and how to move within their mind to protect themselves. So it's just one of many tools, like an exercise machine for jurisprudence that we're utilizing. However, these are 2 letters we read in every meeting. So I'm going to complete this, and then we can all really like get into it, because we're going to go after these 54 questions, because it's not going to be long. We're just going to kind of read them all. And Malika, you, Brother Ara, and I can really just go into sharing, because I'm pretty sure we're just doing this impromptu thing that we do. So we're going to improv, and you can share your wisdom accordingly. You know what I mean? Just drop your wisdom in where you please. And we appreciate you for joining us. So you guys will basically be hearing where we're going with this. And after this letter that I read, and we get into it with the questions or whatever, I'm going to share from here. I'm going to share this out everywhere. I'll share it out to Lawful Living, to the community or whatever, so they can get a hold of that, as well as the Telegram, and share it on Facebook and all other platforms as well. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors in order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in home, or in the streets, or on the internet, right? We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your card at your opinions. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down. The law, guys, the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement. It's very evergreen of this movement, right? It's an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's very interesting too. Noble Drew Ali, I've seen plenty of times in all capital letters, because you guys got to realize that Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, which is his appellation, right? Al-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, that's his appellation. However, by adopting a corporate religious act, affidavit, alrighty, per the 805 Illinois Compiled Statutes 110, that was in the means to protect beings that were denationalized under slavery tags: Negro, Black, colored, Ethiopian. Now people have the Jesse Jackson African-American term or whatever, to add to the many colorable terms that dilute the names that dilute the slavery. The reason why this religious corporation act affidavit was put in was in harmony with Bill of Right 1, to protect Moors as they're beginning to come back to that mind in learning and knowing how to lay down the law, obey the law, and enforce the law, so that they can keep corporate entities from doing what they do. In my perspective, this is why I and Brother R, as we said even on Friday, why we go to the jurisprudence gem. We suggest that people go there. However, we recognize classes packing out now. You know, it'd be 100 people for sure. You're gonna have to tell you, say, hey, Malika, make it so it's like be like 300 people can show up now. Even though I know Malika's like, shit, they could just be 3 people as long as they're fucking sincere. You know what I mean? And I totally get that also. I will say though, I've been getting a response, you know, people have been reaching out, calling, and people kind of actually realize, you know, that we not on some fuck shit. We're not trying to get in y'all pockets, none of that for real. You ain't gotta be kissing ass when you talk to us on the phone. And, you know, I had a few conversations this morning, and a few people was just like, yo, like, I really see what it is. Even last night when I went live on Instagram, and, you know, it was a mother on there like, yo, I got to really link up with y'all and get in on this jurisprudence gym, because y'all really be going in on the lives. And I find myself going back and then just taking notes. And since that's the case, that means shit, you jump in on lawful living and join Friends in Law, those Bible study classes that be there on Tuesdays and Thursdays for real. Y'all can do the same thing y'all do what you do with our YouTubes for real. And it's like at the end of the day, like for real, like we're not in it for the pockets. The thing is, when you respect giving your energy in the form of a Cash App or a PayPal, that's you respecting, you know what I mean, Seven Hill Star. That's you respecting lawful living as far as the energy that's been put into it to be able to have a platform that's not selling you packages. You see what I'm saying? It's really it's like my baby said earlier, like, how may we help you to continue to help you? You know what I mean? How may we help ye to continue to help ye? You gotta help yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no hand-holding shit for real. So let's get to these questions. Malika, I'm gonna love for you to add in your wisdom. If Sonny there or anybody else, because I know your whole family like on the competent, you know what I mean? For real, for real.
Well, I'm just sneaking on here because it's just me right now. When they
Oh,
come
all
in, they
right.
get loud.
Oh shit, it's all good. I mean, I get it. I ain't really tripping for real. Like it's all love.
And about the people getting on, I appreciate everybody getting on the live sessions when we are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The recording is in the open group, Friends in Law. So just being on lawfulliving.com, you have access to all the replay. And unfortunately, but as usual, I'm coming from a marketing and sales background, so I know how people feel about things that are given freely. Unfortunately, it's taken as it is not of value.
That's their dumbness. But go ahead,
and that's why a lot of mentors that I followed, multi-millionaires, I'm talking about 20 million a year plus per business, and they have multiple. They basically tell you they give everything away free, and they just charge people because people need to have a way to give, because you buy their package and it's like, this is the same shit you say for the free stuff. They like, yeah.
Basically.
Oh yeah, but that's
what we do too.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the same concept that we're going
It's the
live.
same stuff, but they charging you $9.97 for it. You know, either $9.97 or $997, and people still pay it. Because of how grateful they are for that information. So it's the conditioning in people is, if you don't charge them or you don't give them an opportunity to give, that the thing is worthless.
No, that's real. Just like to add to your wisdom, Malika, like what we do with Seven Hill Star. You see what I'm saying? Like, where we get our start being Moorish American, right? Which is not saying like, you know, anything different than like, I think, you know what I mean, for us starting out at Moorish Heritage and History School via RV Bay, it makes us appreciate lawful living, because it's like, all right, shit, yo, we just gonna get stronger going here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can only get stronger because it's what we already know. We just didn't have, you know what I mean, within our own community, a place to exercise these jurisprudence concepts. I'm open for correction, brother, all for real, if I sound like I'm out of order.
I think you guys are doing a great job with showing people, especially to when you do the phone calls and you record it, just so people can know, like, do the same thing, take action. And when we are seeing what happens, like how people can win from just doing these records requests, just hearing you guys do them over the phone, it's like, this is all you have to do. I'm telling you, this is how I beat the TSA. And when I called thinking I'm going to be this upstanding citizen and send them a copy of my non-governmental ID, so when I come through, because they never held me up from getting on a plane, they just always made me wait for the supervisor. So I'm thinking ahead. I'm being proactive. I'm not waiting until I'm a victim. So I'm calling them, and then I find out who they are, or should I say are not, you know?
Yeah.
And
so you saying, like, say you gotta take a flight, you gotta leave from where you at and travel 2,000 miles to the other side, right? And instead of like getting a ticket, you know what I mean, to catch a flight or whatever, you know what I mean, or if it's a train or a bus, what you saying is you're having some type of preceding activity happen before your special appearance in the physical.
Yeah, we
Yes,
learned
because
that. We
that's how
learned
I
that.
learned to do business, period. You know, you announce yourself, right? So I called them like, all right, I'm gonna just give you guys my ID I have so that when it shows up, I'm already so-called in the system.
Flat out. Yeah, it's not something for you to accept or reject. It's something for you to be put on notice on about.
Yeah,
like,
I'm putting you
put
on notice, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I figured boss to boss. And that's how come I have my redress number, and everybody thinks that it's like a miraculous thing, but it's very easy to do. You know, you announce yourself, they fuck around and find out, you let them know, hey, I put you guys on notice, what's going on? And now I'm gonna have to charge you. All of a sudden you get a redress number and they give you a, oh, sorry for misidentifying you letter and tell you travel with that. It sounds great to me. I feel like I made myself a diplomat.
Basically,
we learned that. I know. I learned that. Pardon me. Yeah, I know. I learned that at a foundational level. Your paperwork always precedes you. Always.
People just don't know where to send it, and I don't know why. That's why I say when I know you guys are making the phone calls, you figuring it out. Like, are you the party that can help me? Are you the party that I'm supposed to be talking to? Are you the decision maker? If not, connect me with who is.
Correct, because I'm not about to go through you rubbing all up on my body, talking about you looking for metal, trying to detect metal and shit. Fuck out of here.
Trying to detect metal.
Fuck out of here. But anywho, all right, we got these 54 questions to go through, number 55 through 108. This may be the last one. I don't know, because we've been going through Brother Taj Tarik Bey's jump drive like that. You see what I'm saying? And going over. And what I like the fact about Malika being here, and like I said, how we go through this and whatever concepts come, because this is all impromptu, even though it's AstroCivics Sunday. I'm looking at it on the tip where it's like the concepts are universal, the principles are universal. So with that being said, it's like at the end of the day, sincerity is what we're really talking about. When Malika's saying she having her correspondence, whether it's a call, a letter, email, it's preceding her special appearance. Whether, you know, Brother Aura is like, yeah, man, hold up. I'm not going to break the fucking law for real. Let me make sure this electricity thing is known. Like, all right, look, let me put y'all on notice. I'm not no longer about to act like a Federal Reserve agent under some obligation to make advances to the Federal Reserve Bank by using y'all as an instrumentality to do so. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at it like, the basis of all of that ain't, oh shit, they slick, they know the law. It's not that. I think the basis of it is they being sincere. We're being sincere. I mean, I keep it a band with you. For me, you know, usually when, okay, I'll keep it a band. Like when me and my baby was getting on the train, you feel me? One day, and it was like, I just let her handle it because I know at the end of the day that mother runs the house. You feel me? Mother lays down the law. She who runs the house. I just enforce the law. So as we on this particular day, we about to travel to do this whole train situation. You feel me? It's like you want me to pull the chair over there? You sure? You can sit there, you can sit next to me. Okay. You just let me know. So we're gonna go board the train, and this real mannish Albion daughter, you know, my baby pull out her travel card, and she was like, I'm gonna need something with the last name on it that matched the itinerary. Like, it's like, all right, Selma, you know what I mean? Bouvier, like Selma and Patty from Out the Simpsons, because that's how she sounded. All right. So I'm just like, my baby pulled a travel card. I'm thinking to myself, like, my baby's a fucking genius because we about to travel. So it's a travel card, right? I'm like, that's such genius and shit. But she tried to give us some pushback. So I pull out my nationality card and like, look, she told you exactly what it is. It's just that in the first name field, we put our appellation fully, and in the last name field, we place all rights reserved because of the way we've been practicing things. We're not saying that we've never had those rights. We just know people act or they don't know what the rights really are that are inalienable, unalienable. So in their minds, what we're doing is preserving for them a means to like, oh shit, well, hold on, they reserve their rights. Let me not take their rights from them, like as if you reserved a table in a restaurant. You see what I'm saying? We're not saying we've never had those rights. We know we've always had them, but in other people's minds that are employees for different corporations, the last thing they looking to respect is your rights, because they think, like, you know, Malika said plenty of times in class, they got on their motherfucking clown suit. They expect everybody to be a part of the circle.
They think that a right is secondary.
For real.
They think that they're my supervisor said this, so that trumps your right. No, it doesn't.
She did say that shit too, but she's like, I hope I don't get fired for this.
Right.
And we got right on the fucking train. Like, fuck is you talking about?
How you gonna get fired for minding your own damn business?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah, but yo.
Ladies, hush now.
It was wild though, but I mean, for me, it's like I on the spot, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm always in my feds where I go. I'm always in my regalia. And 9 times out of 10, most people that work for major companies and shit, they be 1st to 5th degree Masons anyway. So it's like when I pulled my white stone out, my nationality card, and I let her know, like, what the deal is, how we normally contract or do whatever we do, you know what I'm saying? And we did it prior to also. It's just that, you know, when you do something electronically and then you done already transacted electronically and then they try to give you pushback when you're on the scene, you know what I mean? I got this kind of calm about me when I'm like, look, check this out. You know what I mean? Like, let me explain this to you for real, because I know you may not, you know, and I be speaking, I be speaking in an intelligent tone. You know what I mean? Because I know that's also the same as sending your correspondence before your special appearance for real. Because instead of me getting irate and being like, you stupid bitch, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, just let me, what'd you say?
Speaking in that intelligent tone, be like, unlocking one of those locks, and you got to go right, and you got to go left, and you got to go right. It's like when you speaking to them, you got to come with the right tone, vibration, and spell. Otherwise, if your words rub them the wrong way, then it could fuck up the hypnosis at the moment. You know what I mean? So I know how it is, because I've had so many interactions with policy enforcers. I'm gonna keep it real. I've had better interactions with policy enforcers when I didn't record them than when I did. You know what I mean? Like, you think, oh, I'm recording them for my safety, but sometimes that is enough to throw off their thinking to where they don't want to render you a favorable reply no matter what you say. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Not saying don't record them. I would still record them.
Yeah, definitely record as much as you can whenever you can for real, because our whole position is speaking in an intelligent tone. And I'm saying the universal principle in doing such is also speaking in an intelligent tone. For example, like when Malika's saying she sending her correspondence preceding her special appearance. Sending a correspondence preceding your special appearance is getting people to lay the red carpet and getting the trumpeters set on each side of the carpet. So when you finally come to do what you need to do and walk that red carpet, motherfuckers is, you know what I'm saying?
But let me just say this too. I was traveling for a while and I didn't do that process until after I stopped. So I was on a train, on a plane, on automobiles, and then I got home and was like, okay, I'm not going to be traveling for a little bit, or unknown, right? I didn't know if it was going to be 6 months, whatever. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to just take care of it now, because like I said, I was doing it frequently and I never missed a train, never missed a plane, never missed a flight, right? But they would still always make me wait for the supervisor. So I was just literally like at home in my garden, like, okay, well, I don't know the next time I'm going to travel, but let me see if I can take care of this in advance, you know? So I was already fucking around and finding out for a while, but it's always a good time to start doing that. So, cause now since I did that, like 2017, when I traveled again in 2020, that was 3 years later. I already had my redress number. So I took care of it in the meantime, you know, instead of waiting until you have an issue. So when I got there to the airport, I didn't care how long they took. I handed them that letter. They could go do whatever they want, because I made 10 copies. You go burn it, put it in a locker. I don't care.
You already. You are.
I got it in my email saved. I can flash it to you on my phone.
Look, they do the same shit. Like, all right, I already know. Like, when I get back to my office, I'm gonna have to handle something with mail, for example, with the post, for example. I sent something off. I was like, I'm gonna do something like this with this particular strategy. Lo and behold, the ring, go off. So looking at the phone, my baby showing me the phone. Like, okay, they trying to return the correspondence. I already know the shit I got printed out already. You feel me? Like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them their own postal code within their own international mail manual, within the domestic mail manual, because I've had it happen before. It's just that I didn't establish the relationship with this particular spot. However, I planned it that way because I just wanted to see what their reaction was going to be. So that now that I got their reaction, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go and move like this and wrap the X, Y, and Z for real. Because one thing's for sure and two things for certain. If it's free shipment supplies, I'm open for correction. Who do I need to give an administrative cost to handle the administration if I'm doing it myself? Same thing I thought. You know what I'm saying?
Sound like hey, self, can I do this? Yes, you may. Thank you.
Period. But when they like, oh no, you do this and it's a certain weight and you need this much postage, like shorty, like, all right, produce me the documentation that says I need that much outside of, because what they do, like how you said you got 10 copies of a certain letter. Let me tell you what they do. They got something from, I think, about 2016, 2017. Within the Postal Service, they got a weekly reader. Like, remember back in elementary school, you had the weekly reader?
Oh, my goodness.
They got something called P&C Weekly, right? So P&C Weekly is a letter that they send out to themselves of a interior hypnosis to be like, if you see mail like this or this kind of mail, and it's like, hold on, I done been fucked them up with that back in 2017, 2018, when me and a brother near New York, State Republic, was just sending literature back and forth to each other. And they kept trying to send the mail back. So what I did was I put they shit that they attached on the outside of my mail as a PNC Weekly, like I work for them. Why am I getting your employees' internal weekly reader? So guess what I did? I typed up my own correspondence and put it on the outside of that bitch and sent it. Would you know it got right to that brother near Staten Island Corporation? Because what I realized is their thing is, shit, let me see if I can box you up in your mind and make you succeed.
Yeah, it's like what I told you about deny that you can. We're going to deny that you're actually allowed to do this. We're going to pretend we don't know anything about this.
Yeah, but they still ain't shut that electricity off.
I know that. I know that. But they're still going to, but like I said, they like to play the game of, I don't know anything. Oh, you know that? Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I just remembered it all of a sudden. Okay, but until they see that you know and you're willing to stand on it, they're going to pretend like they don't know. They're going to deny. So that's how I see it.
You know, and that's an interesting and poignant point, because most people will not have firm ground in their comprehension. So when they get that type of pushback or they get the denial, they'll say, oh, that stuff doesn't work. And they might, for example, I'm just using that as an example, they might start back paying their light bill. You know?
Yeah, they said
because when they threatened a few months ago, like, oh, yeah, we saw your letter, we saw your lawsuit, but my boss told me to just treat it as business as usual. They said that in writing. I was like, print. Okay, bitch, print.
Right.
Insert evidence on case. Right. What business as usual? Okay.
Yeah,
some lawyer must have told them something, because they ain't do shit.
Yeah, they didn't do anything at all. They said I am a customer. What do I do? Like, what?
We sent them back their own definition of consumer. They kept saying the consumer, which is you, the consumer, which is you. And in Washington, the consumer has 15 different definitions, 13 of which use the terms used in business, for business. How many times the definition of consumer that has 15 sections use the word for business, engaged in business? Come on.
Yeah, but see, and that's one of the things they want to ignore things like that by saying, oh, we're governed under chapter 701. That's chapter 503. That's not
except when you go to chapter 701, it says the controlling chapter is 503.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what you doing? What you saying now?
So what are you talking about? Yeah.
You know what's funny? That just happened recently. Like y'all already know with the correspondence that I sent to us since we here. Shout out to Alexander. You know what I mean? Shout out to Alexander Dix, like that. You call himself Dr. Dix. Don't y'all be nasty. It's Dix. You know what I mean? That's actually bro real. You know what I mean? Cognomen. However, did you see what the dude Brian, I think it was Brian Jones from the Department of Education, had sent back? Did you check your email on that, Malika?
I saw.
I didn't see that. Was that forwarded from you?
Yeah, it was forwarded from me.
Okay, so I did see that, but I wasn't understanding the correspondence. I wasn't following. I feel like I jumped in the middle.
No, I just sent it to you just in case, you know what I mean, Alexander will rat to you, right? So look, this is what I'll do real quick. Let me stop the screen share on that. And we, like I said, we're gonna knock out these questions because it's short to get through these 54. I'm gonna open up this email real quick with that correspondence with Brian, right? And then
when you do that, bro.
Yeah.
My bad. Go ahead. Finish.
No, you good. Say what you about to say.
I was gonna say while you do that, I wanted to tell Malika because it happened right after you was on with us. I don't know if it was last week, Friday, or when it was. But as soon as you got off, I started doing some more research, and I found a definition. I found it in two separate places, in the administrative code for Nevada and in the statutes. And it defines a term that's called residential and small commercial customer. That's literally the name of the term. It's called residential and small commercial customer. And then in the other statute, it's residential or small commercial customer of a utility. They have these two terms in their laws defined. And it's like, why is residential being defined in the same definition as small commercial customer?
And it's using the conjunction "and," which means
because residential is a business classification. That's what people don't seem to realize. Residential is a business class. It's corporate owned property that's used as a dwelling space. Period.
And that's
as long as corporate owned, they can unfortunately consider that's what's residential. If it's corporate owned and somebody can live in it, it's considered residential, but it has to be corporate owned.
And that's where the deception is taking place, where they always want you to believe that there's some class that is non-commercial, when all of that it's always a lie. They've always because that's the type of what you're saying there is the type of stuff that led me to the comprehension. Because every single bill I tried to research, whether it's the water bill, the light bill, the gas bill, the phone bill, the rent, it all comes down to the use of the space or service for some type of profit making. That is the justification for the charge, period. It doesn't matter if the charge is 1 cent or $100. The justification for the charge is that you are using it as a business. You're using it in the profit of some type of profit and business. And people don't usually believe me, but you're saying the exact same thing. You get to the bottom of it and you realize that they have to list you as some type of business. That's the only thing they could charge. You realize, wait a minute, they can't charge just natural people using the service privately. That's not for profit making. They just can't do it.
But did you hear what he said? What's the definition
of residential? What's the definition? Because they use the term residential customer, but it does not have a definition. But then you'll find residential and small commercial customer defined. Like, wait, small commercial customer.
Say it slower, bro. Residential and what kind of customer?
Residential and small commercial customer. Which they're defined as the same thing. Yeah, they're defined.
That's right. That means it's the same thing.
That means residential customer is a small commercial customer.
Correct. Absolutely. And that's why you'll see that in under the Department of Commerce, Title 15, the United States citizen is a United States business under the Small Business Association.
Hold on. Can we segue right there? What did you just say? The United States what?
Small Business Association.
You said the citizen, right?
Yes, American citizen is considered American business.
Not American citizen, a United States
citizen. Sorry, United States citizen is considered United States business.
Now I sent this to y'all, right? We all got this correspondence.
Oh,
me This to Brian. So the second green one that says the second green circle with the white S is where Brian's responding. So he goes, hello, Hasan. And he obviously hits up Tammy and Vanessa. Because remember, I called them. See, if you like, I sent Alexander a recording. We was in Zoom. I called these people. I called all 4 of the people. They say the call is under Title 34 dealing with so-called federal student aid loans or whatever, right? So I called all 4 of them. 3 of them was women. 1 was a dude. Okay, and Brian Smith, not Brian Jones, Brian Smith. So, all right. So at the talking to Brian, you know what I mean? Because he called back because I left a voicemail on every last one of their voicemails. I know they was probably like, what the fuck is this? Right? So he was like, we were in a meeting. That's why nobody answered. So now this is why I'm calling you back. So he goes, thank you for sending those citations, blah, 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 blah. And he basically makes that whole what Ara just said. Well, it's actually not this.
Yes, this. I read this one.
Right? The thing is, this where Brian fucks himself up. He actually says this right here. This is what fucks Brian up right here, where he goes, the student meets the requirements for an eligible student number under. So I'm like, all right, let me click 34. We know Title 34, the Code of Federal Regulations is the Department of Education. He says Part 668, because you know what HEA means, Higher Education Act, student loan. So that's why he was saying they're not recipients or non-federal entities, because that would be for a grant. We're talking about borrowers and students under loans. That's what he's saying. Okay.
Right. Loan program. Mm-hmm.
The Sagittarius Act.
Right. However, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look, I'm going to scroll down. I was really just wanting to look at, all right, so these some other different definitions under the Higher Education Act of 1965.
Well, look at all those references to Title 20. Woo!
I mean, not only look, it's in the parentheses after each one. Look
at it. Look, Title Authority, 20 USC 421. Exactly. Guess what's in between there?
now watch as we continue. That's what I said. When I saw this shit, I said, hold the fuck up, right? Like, hold up. But I was scrolling. I'm like, all right, student aid report, subscription-based program. And then they got real
all
cute.
Those references to Title 20 means you have to be an employee of the United States Federal Corporation. Every single reference to Title 20.
Correct. So then, look, when I got here, I called Alexander today. I'm like, bro, did you see this part, right? I looked at, okay, there it is.
Ooh, they got 8 USC 1100 there.
That's why I said, what did you just say? A United States what?
Yes.
So now they talking about the Immigration and Nationality Act under 8 USC 1101 822.
Aliens and nationality under Title 8.
So now I'm looking at this like, yo, a student is a fucking United States business.
Oh, yikes.
Because what was that? What is it? 4720? Is it Title 15, 4724?
4724. 4724
shows, right? That's trade shows, right?
That's trade shows on the Department of Commerce.
So if they talking like that right there, right? I should be able to type in 472, boom, right? Because I got it open already, right? I got Title 15, United States Code 4724 open. And then this is where like you
see where Part A says that it's under the authority of the Secretary of Commerce. Everybody has to realize that. Facilitating exporting by United States businesses.
So that means in order to get a student loan, you got to be under some trade show act that's under the authority of the Secretary of Commerce that's classifying you as this.
Are you making that, just for clarity for the watchers, are you making that link based on the definition of United States business and them saying that a eligible student is a United States citizen?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, bro. So when I saw that, I'm like, yo, hold up, B. Like, hold up. Like, hold on. Let me go back and find it. I'm like, yo, hold up. They couldn't hold anybody to a student loan at all. Not really.
I mean, unless again, when you realize when you get that SSN that it is a business tax ID number for the sole proprietor.
It's like a taxpayer number, indeed.
You said when you get the which number? Say the number again. Just repeat it.
Taxpayers.
Got you. Exactly. The 9-digit number, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure I heard you properly, because I just wanted to bring this shit right back here. That's where we was at, right here. And it's showing you, and we making the connection between, like you said, 15 United States Code. So anybody that's using any tax identification number, and this, let me say this to the Moorish Americans out there. Why do you think you have your general and permanent character codified under Title 22 of the United States Code? That's not saying that Moors are federal agents acting under United States Code. No, that's showing you that your general and permanent character is codified within their system for them not to cross your ass. That's why when you look at the relinquishment of the jurisdiction of the United States here at Morocco, happened in 1956 during the tenure under Dwight D. Eisenhower, which means anything operating here without there being consular jurisdiction, you know what I mean, as far as the United States activities, that means that there is no actual United States here. It's all a fucking puppet show. And really, for real, these people should be getting hung if they call themselves a judge, a policy enforcer, an attorney. That's why there's no United States running anything here. It's the fucking Bar Association, which Malika reiterates all the time in the jurisprudence, Jim. You see what I'm saying? So even though they saying a citizen of the United States, they're talking about a business. So at the end of the day, a student loan, remember the student is a United States business. Because if they're saying that...
Or someone with permanent allegiance too.
Period.
And if you get their passports, because I know you were speaking about traveling earlier, if you get their passports, that means that you're pledging allegiance to the United States. They only issue passports to those who pledge allegiance to them. So that would put you under that category.
And this isn't being seditious. Oh shit, we, overthrowing. You can't overthrow criminals. You can't that's not overthrow. That's called law enforcement.
That's called
real law enforcement is what restoration. We're doing here. Say that again.
That's called restoration. If things were to get put in order, it wouldn't be an overthrow, it would be a restoration of after the overthrow.
Flat out.
I don't understand people's fascination with the United States issued under the Secretary of the State passport. I don't understand the obsession with government identifying documents for people who are not actually agents of the government.
It's like they want to be fraudulent. It's like
instead of standing on the fact that those tracking papers were only instituted so the federal corporation can keep track of their agents while they're at work, instead of acknowledging that it's like, oh, well, they get to do whatever they want. So I'm just going to pretend to lower my status to one who needs permission from their agents.
License. You just said that again. The one who needs permission is the one who gets a license or applies for a fucking license. And that's what I'm saying. What I think you're saying, and I'm in full agreement, is people don't need that shit. They need to recognize that it doesn't pertain to them, and they should still be able to move about across the earth.
Exactly. I mean, I'm telling you, my redress number came with an apology for being mistaken as one who needs corporate identification. They mistakenly, because the codes that they tried to tell me that my ID was not in line with, when you pull it up under the Interstate Commerce Act and the Transportation Act, it literally is under the section for employees. There's no way around that.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that you qualify to get a passport, you're saying that you qualify as an employee of the federal government or municipal corporation thereof. So it's not saying not to do it, but you got to know what it is that you're doing so you don't fool yourself thinking you're freeing yourself by pretending to be an agent of the state.
Correct. So let me just say this then. So to all you people talking about go to this so-called Bay, go to this Bay guy for debt discharge, or go to this L guy for secured party creditor stuff. Y'all are doing exactly what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said when he said, be careful, dear Moors. There will be Moors wearing turbans and fezzes that will sell you back into slavery. And as soon as you go for some secured party creditor shit, you are saying, I'm Moorish American, but I'm actually a federal agent without a contract, the oath of office, or an autograph certified statement that says I'm doing, performing functions of public office at the pleasure of the governor. So not only did you declare and proclaim your nationality, but then you commit treason within the same breath.
I think,
and don't even recognize it.
I think a lot of times when you're dealing with people who are ignorant to this information because they've all been conditioned to believe that you need these instruments or whatnot, when they deal with you and you don't need these instruments, they use those words must and need, or they use the word have to, like you need to, you must, you have to, and the words must and need implies obligation, and the words like have to implies subject to, like you're subject to. So like I don't think they realize how big of a statement they're making when they say something like that. Like, yo, what you just said requires some type of evidence for it to have any validity, because you're trying to bind me into some type of obligation. So you might want to correct your language or produce that obligation before trying to tell me to
what always trips me out about that is when you mentioned they're going to need evidence to support that allegation. All you have to do is type into the search engine who is eligible for a passport, who can be assigned a passport. It's a very basic thing. That's how I found out that all these gurus are full of shit. Because when I went to the search engine and I said, who's eligible for SSN? And that's how I found the definition of you.
20 CFR.
Who owes a debt to the United States. I typed in who is eligible for a real estate loan. That's how 7 USC 1922 came up and said it's only for farmers and ranchers. When I type in who's eligible for a passport, that's when Title 22 comes up and tells you that it's only people who work for the Secretary of State. Yes, that's what I typed in right into the search engine. Who is eligible? So if you have not typed that in for yourself, why are you listening to anybody else tell you anything at all?
In the state laws, it also tells you for when you're dealing with the utilities, it has a definition of eligible customer. One does not fit that definition either.
Oh man.
You can never fit them because you
never
must.
Fit.
It looks like this how I'm looking at it. You ever tried to like, remember when you was younger and you wanted to get into like a concert or a club and you knew somebody who could get you through the back door?
Yeah.
This is one concert you can't get in the back door because every door requires you to be an employee of the fucking military.
Oh, well, they'll let you in. They'll give you the military ID and let you in.
But you would be. It's the reverse of being AWOL.
Yeah. You'll be pretend. You'll be impersonating.
Just go into the front door then. Just fill out the regular applications and go through the front door. That's what I always tell people. If you want a regular driver's license or you want a regular passport, don't do anything special. Just go through the front door, fill out everything like they ask for, put all the numbers in, and just do it regular. You don't anybody trying to tell you to do some special underhanded, you're gonna get 5 stars on your passport card because that's what really puts you outside the system. Like what does 5 stars mean? Well, we don't know, but it gets the people going. It sounds provocative. Right?
That's like the no ID. We're gonna put the star. If yours has a star, it's the real ID. So It's like, so wait, hold on. You guys made a new law called a real ID, so these other IDs been fake the whole time? Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's like go and find the statute or code. I don't care if you think they're real or fake or whatever, but go find the one that describes what's supposed to go on a Federal Reserve note.
I dare people to go look up also
Wow.
the passports.
Go
I
and
dare
look and see where the words for
look up
all that's
allegiance.
public and private come from. Go show me where that came from.
Look up allegiance. Because
Wow.
I guarantee you, when I research allegiance to the United States, only thing I see is that they could send your ass to war. And that's not, I'm not giving my allegiance to be told, go shoot this gun for me to these people that I don't know.
That never did you anything either. Don't forget that part.
And Taj always brings that up about the hypocrites who are scared to put in paperwork or stand up for your rights, but you'll go across the seas to go hang your brothers and sisters and cousins out there that never did anything to you. But you're scared to stand
How
up
do people get over that?
Colonizer.
How do people get over that? You willing to go and put your body as fodder for war for somebody that cares not for you, but you don't even want to put in some
against
paperwork?
Someone that did nothing to you. That's what makes it worse. It's not
That's
like
absolutely what makes it worse for me. That's the
it's not like
clincher.
you're
They
going
did
to war,
nothing to you.
You're not going to war against a long-standing enemy or some of yours. You're actually going to war for someone else's interests.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Chevron.
PepsiCo, which is Tropicana. Lay's.
You over here fighting for Tyson's chicken. Stop it.
Yo. So when Malika's talking about all of us referring to the tax identification number or a tax identifier number, who can be assigned a tax identifier number that's termed here, the Social Security number under the occupation of these United States actors near the Canada Corporation is called a SIN, which is a social identifying number, right? So with that being said, the only one, and this is why y'all see me, this is why I keep putting YE. I'm not talking about Kanye West when I put YE in place of you. I'm actually planting a seed in you guys' minds on purpose. Damn, Hasan keeps saying ye instead of you. Like, the reason I'm saying it, because if I click on you right here, like Malika mentioned, and you've seen us go over this so many times, because we're going to exercise, you know what I mean, with Malika and the rest of our loved ones at the George Prudence Gym, man, over these concepts. You means an individual who owes a debt to the United States within the scope of this subpart. So those of you that's talking about, oh, I want to have an at-home manifestation of my baby, but what do I do with they don't have a social security number? Is your baby one who owes a debt to the United States?
Or perhaps, unfortunately, they're pledging their baby in for the debt, like they are the debtor and they're pledging their baby to the United States for their debt to the United States.
That's child trafficking.
Exactly. Hello.
Yep.
Then, what if they need a birth certificate? Like I said, when I just looked at that first video on cancel CPS at Lawful Living, I'm like, yo, hold up. The authority is under 5 USC 301. Like, hold up, yo. This shit is under. I was looking like, okay, under other ones too that you had under.
But that's the main
42.
one. 5 USC 301. That's where birth certificates are, and that's the military department.
Government,
which is basically saying.
Employees.
Hold on, what'd you say, bro?
Government organizations and employees, Title V.
Correct. So it's like if there was a war and people's moms and mothers and fathers were killed in that war, and these so-called military employees termed soldiers found these children, and they're going to put a foundling certificate under the authority of 5 United States Code 301. I'm open for correction, Malika and Ara. Under 5 United States Code 301, and be like, all right, we found these children. They're orphans, basically. So here's a foundling certificate dealing with whatever soldier found this child. Now they got y'all doing that coming straight out the pussy.
Yep.
Thanks.
And then when they see this, all people are thinking is, but how am I gonna get these benefits? How am I gonna? And it's like, do y'all think Social Security numbers existed like forever? You don't know they were created in the 1940s? Do you know people were having babies and starting businesses and getting married and all that stuff, having jobs and all that stuff?
No, that's not true. There was no babies born before 1940.
Then we need to recount the years then.
The Social Security Administration is the reason for babies.
Wow, that's fucking ridiculous.
The other thing that people need to realize is that the very first bureau that was created in the government was called the Children's Bureau. Everybody needs to look that up. The Children's Bureau.
The Children's Bureau. Y'all heard that?
Yes.
Take notes. I hope y'all taking notes. That's looking
the
at
Children's Bureau.
It sounds kind of creepy already. I'm not gonna lie.
It really is creepy, isn't it? Because they put the Department of Ways and Means, the Department of Agriculture, which is ran by the Bank of International Settlements, all is up underneath the Children's Bureau.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like, what show was that we was watching, baby, where it was called The Marksman, right? Where yo was like, he gonna kill a dude family and raise the little boy in the cartel to be a soldier. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's happening. What they doing is they killing the children, killing off the elders or the grown people and raising the children.
And raising the children as soldiers.
For the cartel. Like, that's what it is. I ain't
that's
talking
just
about
what that you who owe a debt to the United States is describing for real.
Yeah.
And the fact that they put the birth certificates under Title V.
Yo, shout out to whoever's in the chat, CDM1920. They quoted 22 US Code 212. I don't know if you want to pull it up. I could just read it real quick.
Hold on, yeah, I could pull it up. I ain't even in the chat.
That's weird. I know that section already.
Hold on, I'm a hold on. Let me catch up with y'all in the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Let me mute that. Oh, dang, a few of y'all in the chat. What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna make sure I Slim Herban, Mother Sahar, Brother Tarik Bey, his beloved consort, Mother Janelle Blash L. Peace of greetings to you all. Dun L, peace of greetings, our beloved brother Terrell Tamari Bey with the sauce. He's in here. CDM 1920. I'll get to that. 22 United States Code subsection 212. Persons entitled to passport. They laughing at Tyson's chicken, Malika and Slim Herban laughing at Tyson's chicken. Great revelations keep it flowing. Indeed, Donnell and Coalesa near the Khalifa State Republic. Peace of greetings to you, brother. And Azatlan, Elmore, Bay, Islam Wars, and Mother, supreme honors to our Holy Prophet, Drew Ali. Indeed. So I guess, because I was about to go back to these 54 questions, but I'm going to make sure we do the 54 questions, y'all. I ain't going to leave y'all hanging. However, you already know, like I said, we're going to improv this thing for real. So let me go and screen share again. You said it's in, all right, let me screen share and then I'll click it in the chat so it'll take me right to it then for real. Let me go to the chat. Boom. Click on that there. Open the link. Right. There we go.
That's exactly what I was talking about. I just didn't have the site off top. Now I can't forget it on them twos. Jesus.
Yeah, 22 United States Code 212. 212, help me sing. Oh, that's 112. Anyway, I'm just saying, persons entitled to passports. One of y'all want to read it? Because you did bring it up, Malika. You can go in. Even one, you or brother. I don't know.
All right. So no passport shall be granted or issued or verified for any other persons than those owing allegiance, whether citizens or not, to the United States.
So he got a passport. Put a gun in his hand. Put a gun in his hand. Put a gun in his hand.
Basically, I mean, so yeah, because if you owe, like Brother Aura said, if you owe an allegiance, that means that you're military then.
Got to fight for them. Yeah.
You got to fight for them. This is the type of stuff, like, again, this is when I hear SPC, this is the research I did. I literally just went to my favorite search engine and type in persons entitled to passport. First I put eligible, because that's how I found Title VII. So I will put eligible, entitled to, and you'll find these one sentence things that to me are the basis, right? They're like the threshold issues. So when someone's highfalutin, they talking all this, you're going to do all this, that, you're going to get your passport, going to have 5 stars. And then, they've never read this. You've never seen this.
Every time you say 5 stars, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell on my age, obviously. But I see the star search with Egg McMahon, yo, like 3.25 stars. Like the fuck, yo, like that shit is hilarious, yo. Right,
and if you ask any of them, what does it mean if you get 4 stars or 5 stars? They'll be like I said, no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going, you know.
Jesus.
Wow.
I'm just not going to do anything I don't absolutely have to do. And this right here, what guru is going to explain away you having to owe allegiance to a corporation? Well, how are you going to explain this away and be like, well, who cares? Just get it.
If you're not subject to, you don't have to.
Because it's even people out here, and I know they got good hearts with little to no comprehension. Because you got some good mothers, I'm going to say their spirit is in a good place, their heart is in a good place. However, they'll say things like, that's why I just really want people just to be able to have only a passport in their pocket as an identification. And like, I'm sitting there gripping onto my seat like, no, don't say that. But I know that they don't know what we're exactly discussing right here, right now. It's just a lot of people in good faith.
It's one sentence, guys. One sentence destroys every guru trying to tell you nonsense. Just go and put in eligible, entitled for anything you want to think of. Credit cards, mortgages, and just put it in the searches. I'm telling you, these one sentence things will come up and you'll know all these gurus are talking out of their ass.
Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. No, you're completely correct. I mean, and because sometimes I know, Malika, you're not, you know what I mean? You by you having lawful living, you can be able to say what you say in the jurisprudence gem. And a lot of times what we doing is like, hey, look, y'all, check this out. Come over here and exercise. I just know that I ain't afraid to say motherfuckers appellations, and nobody here is. I just know that most people that know, that have public platforms, that know people bullshitting, they won't mention them. Now, I ain't violating Act 3. Like I said, I don't have to go to a Jonah Bey for discharging debt, because I'm not going to listen to Jonah Bey's philosophy of how to sell myself back into slavery.
When you discharge it, I was just thinking like discharging debt, the whole concept of it. When you discharge it, that's like saying, throw out the trash, right? Let's say discharging it was throwing the trash out. Like, are you going to your neighbor's house and throwing out their trash? I mean, I know on some community friendly shit, like I've been outside and my neighbor came by, it was cold, she was an older woman, and I threw out her trash for her. However, like, why are you discharging a debt that's not yours, is what I'm saying. Like, you don't just go around, are you the trash man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you were not qualified to be in the transaction, that is the end of it. It's an unconscionable contract, period. There's nothing to discharge if you were, what do they call it? Fraud in the inducement. If you were fraudulently induced into a transaction that is only for members of the corporation, like mortgages, they tell you straight up, loans too. It only says they could give it to executive directors and primary shareholders. That's it. Yep. So if you're not one of those, you didn't qualify for a transaction for any kind of loan, whether it's for a boat, a car, a home, or whatever. So when you say I'm discharging something, that presumes you were qualified in the first place.
So again, I'm not listening to Jonah Bey, but go ahead. I'm listening. What you say, bro?
Pardon me. I was just saying, when you do that, you're admitting that you have an obligation. You're admitting to a false obligation.
And I'm not subscribing to USFL for secured party creditor stuff. I get it. Some Moors is out there like, but yo, at least we're all Moorish American and we still gonna have to stick together the best way possible and work out our differences. They gonna work out. I am not. So guilt by association. I'm not dealing with that. That's too much for me. Guilt by association is too heavy.
I will say this: if you want to run a business, right, then run a business. If you are going to exercise your natural rights, that's a whole separate thing. So if I used to be out here teaching people how to start and run businesses too. I would do it all, the whole gamut. I had somebody hired for web design and all that stuff. If you want to do a business, I know how to set up a sales funnel, know how to get you started with email, marketing, all that. If that's what you want to do, then let people know that that's what you're showing them. Don't promise people you showing them how to live in the private, and then I'm listening and all I hear is how to run a business, because I already know how to do that. I already know how to show people how to do that.
Yeah, that's why
I don't need to send them to anybody else if all they're going to do is show you how to run a business. I can show you how to do that too. I thought we were trying to show people how to live in private and exercise their natural rights, their God-given rights, their innate rights, their birth rights. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
So when I'm listening to you and you like, so you got to do this EIN, trust, 98, blah, blah, EI, what? What?
I've done it.
Do all of that.
I did the experiment of, let me see if I can get a 98 number by apparel, by word of mouth, and then get the 98 number and then realize as I'm doing, I'm like, all right, that was easy, but I still know I don't need this shit.
At least not to exercise your given rights. I mean, maybe to exercise some privileges, you're going to need that.
Yeah, if I wanted to. However, again, I'm a scientist. I'm a Moorish scientist. Sometimes I just be like, this is where angels fear to tread. Let me go over here and say, hey, y'all over here where angels fear to tread.
Yes.
And then motherfuckers start running like, oh shit, it's Hassan. Let me getting the fuck out of there. Hey, man, come on back. I was about to play around, man. But then people don't want to play.
I'm like, hey, friend, like, I just have a couple of questions. All you see is assholes and elbows.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, cool. I know I ain't got to do that shit because now what I'm not doing is going off of what somebody else said, and I'm a motherfucking parrot. All right, this is what you do. All right, get a 98 number. I'm not doing that shit. I'm like, all right, let me see what happens when I get the 98 number. I ain't fill out not their paperwork. That's how let me tell you what I learned from that lesson. I learned from that lesson that I don't work for these motherfuckers, so I stopped filling out anybody's applications, or at least the way they expect, because I'm thinking to myself, if I can get on the phone with somebody with the International Monetary Fund doing business as Internal Revenue Service, if I can get on the phone with them and be like, word of mouth, payroll, word of mouth, payroll, and you send something to a mailing location that I give you, and you said, this is official based on the information that you dictated to us, I'm the fucking Fresh Prince. That's the lesson I got.
Yep.
That means I can tell somebody what to do, and then they'll do it. I ain't had to fill out shit. I ain't send nothing. I ain't mail nothing. That's when I got the lesson. Like, you know what? This is all some bullshit. That's funny. That's how the lesson always comes. Be like, what? This is some bullshit. Mm-hmm. Just like that. Mm-hmm. That's when it really a wrap for me. I yield.
I worked a job without social. I literally used my nationality card and my name correction document, but it was a business registered with the state too. I did get checks every week and bonuses in between. However, it was like independent contractor work, so they never even asked for a social, and they're just expecting you to, I guess, report your own, because they don't take taxes. They don't take taxes out of it either. And I'm telling you, and then I was cool up there with the check cash in place. See, everybody near the job cashed their check at that same place. So when I showed up with a different ID and they're like questioning, can we accept this? They already knowing that the business that the checks are being cashed from are
already
credible.
Accepted it.
They're credible. Yeah. So I worked there for like a year, but I hated the job. You know what I'm saying? So like I stopped working there, but it is possible. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not necessary because the things that are for sale are for people who are using them or acquiring them in a certain capacity, which we're not.
Right. And that's the problem people are having, because it has to be a lifestyle change. It has to be, you have to look at things from the perspective of, I'm not the only justification for the charge of charging me anything is that I am reselling the service or using it to create something else to resell. They know that most people are not living naturally. So everything is rigged to just make you appear to act as a business. And as soon as you start trying to be just doing something for yourself, it creates a predicament where you realize it has to be holistic. You can't just turn it on when you have a problem, because a lot of people, that's how they look at it. Like, oh, I only need to use that stuff when I run into an issue, you know, and
It's
it's
all
like
connected.
you
all
got to
connected.
do it before you have an issue. You have to be proactive and you have to be willing to stand on your rights. Like right now, our son is applying at another job. The first job he got, both him and his brother, they gave the affidavit saying that they never were given a social security number because they don't qualify. They in the communication, it talks about the fact that they cannot be compelled to have a social security number.
42 USC 40888.
That's right. And
I
so
got that right. Yeah.
They the job, like he did the interview, they called him in for the paperwork. They sent him an email just the other day saying, oh, you know, we don't want to have to break any federal laws, so we're going to need a social in order for you to continue. So we sent them back where it says from the IRS that they have to ask you twice. Did you guys know that? They have to ask you twice.
It's 3 knocks. They gonna knock twice, and on the third time you answer, because they ask once you answer, they ask twice you answer. Yes. And then when you go for the third time, they have to grant access.
Yep. So we sent them back the part of the Title 26 that says that they have to ask twice, and if they're told no on the second asking, they have to fill out, I shouldn't say have to, they can, if they still want to hire you, fill out an affidavit that says we asked twice and were denied, but we're still going to hire this person. That's it. And then even if what makes it worse is there's only a $50 penalty for not doing that. So it's not even to say that they have to ask twice. It's just if they ask twice, they have to fill out affidavit. If they don't fill out the affidavit, they're only fined $50. But they're going to sign you up for 31% of what they promised to pay you to be given to a program that you don't even want.
Correct.
And people just go along with it like, well, they asked for it. Yes, they have a responsibility to ask, because the government told them, you want this business license, you damn trading with the enemy, you want a business license, then you have to report to us every time one of our nation members, aka United States citizens, come into your establishment. You have to identify them for us. It doesn't mean that you can only hire them or you can only cater to them.
Right.
And that's unfortunately how people are allowing themselves to be treated by these businesses or these people who work at the businesses that read nothing.
Read nothing at all.
Read nothing. That's why
they read nothing and they comprehend even less.
That's why Malika's shirt, one of the shirts you guys can get through the jurisprudence gem at lawfulliving.com is, has your sheriff read the Constitution?
Have they?
I have recordings. I have a like very clean record of an employer that I went and did an interview with. The whole interview's recorded. When they showed me the warehouse, you know, I have all that audio recorded. I have every phone call. It was like 5 phone calls that I had with different agents, and I had a recording of a phone call with their third-party company who does the background checks, and they didn't hire me because of the social. And I have them set up so like I got a clean lawsuit. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because of the time. You know, I'm doing other things, but
just file with the EEOC first. And then they're gonna probably take another good 2-3, well, probably a month or 2 to give you your consent to sue.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I went to.
So that'll buy you some time too. But in the meanwhile, you got them cooking in the background. Because that's what I'm setting these people up for right now too. We're just gonna wait till if they even respond, because he's gonna check in with them probably on Monday. Hey, you know, did you get my email? What's that?
Yeah.
I really fucked them up because I read, I know they probably didn't expect me to, but I read their terms of service and I've seen something in there that said, if you do not want to communicate, when electronic communication becomes, when it's no longer feasible, you have the right to paper communications. So I sent them a request for paper communications. They were like, what the fuck? Like, I know no one's ever done this, right? So, and the thing is that I showed them in their policies where they couldn't deny it. So they called me like, oh, why do you why do you
Why you want to
get
make
the
us do our
communication?
job for, you
Because
fucker?
they were trying to make me do e-verify, and e-verify requires a bunch of US instruments. So I let them know, and they were mad too because they have an incentive program. Like if you're a felon or if you're this, they can put you up under a certain category and get more finance for you. It's a form that
Oh,
they want
that's
you to
what they
fill
do
out
with the background check stuff.
with there's a certain form they'll give you. It's a certificate. I forgot what it's
Right,
called.
right, right. But I'm saying that's why they do the
That's
background
why
check stuff. That's why they tell you to do it.
absolutely, because they
Okay,
get
so when
incentives
what
to
happened with our son
hire
last
certain
week
people.
is that when they did that, when they told him he had to do the background check, he was trying to do it online and they were asking for the social. So he asked me what he should do. So I called them. I should have had y'all on the phone. I called them and I was like, hey, what do you do with people who don't have socials? And the girl was like, oh, they give you one at the hospital. That's how I knew I was talking to a little girl.
Oh.
That's how I knew I was talking to somebody who never had any kids. I was like, this is a little girl. She got to be in her 20s or something because
Right.
she don't know. You don't get that, baby.
Mhm.
Baby girl. They don't just hand that to you on the way out the hospital, okay?
At
You don't be like,
all.
oh, here, you get a social. You get a social. So
Oprah
I
with the
told her,
social.
yeah, before you go ahead and make that your final answer, you might want to go ask somebody. So she got my phone number. I was on the phone with my sister. She actually got my sister's phone number and said, I'm going to call you back at this phone number. So I was like, great. But I didn't want to tell her that there's two people on the phone. So I didn't interrupt her when she was like, oh, yeah, is your number this, that, which is my sister. So I said, fine. Because I knew my sister was going to call me back. So in like 10 minutes, they call back and they go, oh, for the background check online, just put all 9.
Yeah.
And it'll take you through the system. And then just call us and let us know it was you. Great.
I got the look. I called the background check people, and I spoke to him as if I was an employer wanting to use their services, and he gave me all the juice. He was like, "Yeah, well, he was like, well, you don't want to do that type of, you don't want someone to put, they can't put all ones and zeros." But he was like, but it's not as accurate, and you guys would probably prefer something a little more accurate. And I'm like, what if I have, someone who wants to work and he's not a citizen of the United States and he just doesn't utilize it because for whatever reason they're like, yeah, you can bypass it using ones or zeros or whatever. But they lied to me and told me like there's no way around it. You know what I mean?
Right. When I called them, I was like, they just said, like I said, they called back and said, just put all 9s and then just call us to let us know it was you. So that's it.
Right.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
That was last week. So everybody knows this is not ancient history. This is not back when only 2 people had social security numbers. They have to make those types of considerations. So I know Hasan wants to go through some questions, but I can show you guys the letter that is a joint letter from the DOJ, Department of Health and Human Services, and HUD that says they cannot discriminate against you for what they call nationality or national origin. And that's what a lot of people associate having a birth certificate and or social security number with. But if you know that they cannot by law discriminate against you for your nationality, it means that you don't even have to prove it to them.
Exactly, because if they try to force you to, they'll be in violation of those discriminatory laws.
Exactly.
All right, let's knock out these 54 questions. Malika, you can share those letters. And I think at the time you finish sharing those letters, we're going to bring up Title 18 United States Code 1028 from the Attorney General Criminal Records Manual or something like that, the CRM or whatever. And I'll find that. And I'm pretty sure that's going to go in harmony with, in the absence of a nationality card, these are the acceptable documents as secondary means to identification. So I think that'd be great. These 54 questions we're going to knock out, Brother Aura going to read them. We could even brainstorm if there's anything that sparked anybody's interest. Appreciate you all commenting in the comments. Brother Jag, he already knows he can come in, man. He knows the Zoom open, but Brother Jag just sitting in the chat, that's cool too, because he just said, Malika, what you just were referring to relates to Article 21 in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. He can put 1786 Treaty of Peace and Friendship. But I yield the floor to Brother R. We get through these 54 questions, and then we remember we're going to do the DOJ, right? Department of Justice. And what was the other office, Malika, you said for that letter also? Is the DOJ and who else? Just wanted to make sure.
The Department of Commerce? Or
Did she say Justice and Commerce?
I'm not sure.
Which ones did you say, Malika? I'm gonna stand up on this, yo.
You might have stepped away, bro. I wanted to state real quick. I actually
That's fine.
found that document. I have the document in my phone. It's called Request for Paper Delivery of Communications. And
Gotcha.
if you don't mind, like at the end when she shows her stuff, I can show that too. Because
That's
like
a bet.
you'd be surprised. Like that's why it's important to read, especially when you're gonna do a contract that you know you're willfully entering into the contract. Like me trying to get work like that in my free national appellation and all that. I was reading everything, you know what I mean? And it put me one step ahead of the game to where they didn't know how to deal with me.
It's long.
But yeah, let's go. All right. So questions.
When come back, she'll repeat what the letter is. I know the Department of Justice. I was trying to see on the fly whichever one she said. It might have been Commerce, but anyway, go ahead, bro. I yield. 55.
Y'all asking me a question?
Yeah, which one was it again? The document you said you want to share? Did we not know these 54 questions?
It's a joint letter from the DOJ, Department of Health and Human Services, and HUD.
I know what you're talking about.
It's a joint.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one we went over last week.
Yeah, right, you just went over it.
Yeah.
All right. Questions. Oh, that's the one. Is that the one about that's not about what's that letter about?
She said about not discriminating against your national origin.
Right.
Yes, they cannot discriminate with national origin, and they usually use the social and the birth certificate to try to prove national origin. But if you cannot be denied due to national origin, you literally do not have to show any documents of national origin at all, because they can't discriminate against you for it. They can't deny you services if you otherwise qualify. That means that you don't have to have it, nor does anybody else in your household, because the whole thing came up because, of course, if you're here so-called illegally, you're going to be hesitant to give information for the other family members in your household, and the people at these different service agencies, housing and food, SNAP and stuff like that. They were trying to deny people services that they qualify for, so-called income-wise or situationally or whatever, but they were trying to deny them because they weren't including social security numbers or birth certificates on the applications. And so the DOJ, HUD, and Department of Health and Human Services was like, nah, dog, if y'all getting that federal funding, you better give those people those damn services and stop trying to act like they need some special nationality to get them.
That document was said it used the language immigrant. However, it's just anyone who's not basically considered U.S. born. It's
anybody that's not trying to give you anything verifying their nationality. You just can't discriminate against them. That means you don't have to give them nothing.
Exactly. Which makes sense. That makes sense. That means that if you can't discriminate against nationality, why have a preemptive measure to prove nationality?
Correct. That's exactly on point. Yep.
All right. I yield. Go ahead. 55. And then we're going to bring up that letter for real. Gotcha. 55.
Questions. Lot 7. 55. Name the 5 primal principles related to or symbolized by the 5-pointed star in the Moorish flag.
Well, everybody knows what that is.
It's better.
Also,
love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, right?
Love number 1.
Indeed. Brother Terrell Tamari Bey with the sauce has joined us, y'all. Islam, bro. All right, let me bring it down to 56. All right, 56. I yield, bro.
According to Act 3 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, what must not be done on any occasion? 57. In reference to the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, why are we Moors said to be part and parcel of this said government?
Ooh, parcel.
58. Are you familiar with the Rudder and Sextant Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs? 59. If you are familiar with this, what is the Imperial Divan? 60.
Divan, yeah. I should go get it, yo. You want me to go get those documents, yo? You want me to get that Rudder and Sextant just to hold it up or not? I actually got a PDF of it.
We got the PDF.
Yeah, they need that. Just a little, just a taste.
All right, go ahead, read. I'll be right back.
60. Etymologically, what does the noun contract mean? 61. In law, what are the primal elements of creating a contract? 62. What is the significance of chapter 29 of the Circle 7 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science? 63. According to chapter 39 of the Circle 7 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, what is the pinnacle of wisdom? Questions, lot 8. In chapter 23, this is number 64. In chapter 23 of the Circle 7 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, how is reference to astrology made evident? 65. What is astrology?
Jesus Christ.
65. What is,
answer that question.
what is astrology in association with Moors of the Northwest? 66. Explain chapter 4, verse 15 and 16 of the Circle 7 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Back to 15.
Here's
the
that
man.
rudder and sextant. Just wanted to, here's that Moorish rudder and sextant. Let it be known. That ain't just the front page. I gotta spread this like a deck of cards. I gotta be like do it like it's the bands that people be rubbing in rubber bands talking about hello. Is that what I gotta do? But anyway. Go ahead, I yell, bro. I yell.
Yo, I did that the other day with a stack of vegan patties.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Yeah, we eating good over here.
Flat out.
No, but 66, at the 15 mark, right? Under 66. The man who stands upon the corners of the paths and points the way, but does not go, is just a pointer. And a block of wood can do the same.
Bro, read that one more time for him, bro, please.
Indeed, the man who stands upon the corners of the paths and points the way, but does not go, is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same.
In other words, don't just go to the jurisprudence gym at Lawful Living, or go to, if you start out at rvbaypublications.com like us, and then go to, Lawful Living. Don't just be regurgitating shit without actually writing writs, intelligibly writing writs and assisting people. Because at this point, there's no, I don't see grand sheiks. I'm just gonna keep it a band.
It's too easy to think you have to wait on somebody else to do it for you. It's too easy to beat these people up.
Yeah.
Way too easy. And then people want to have titles respected, that they grand sheiks of what? Of sitting still. You're the grand sheik of the do nothing science temple. You're the do no kind of science temple of America.
How much time does it take to just point when you can just be doing it? That takes energy just as much as doing it does. Literally.
I agree.
Well, a block of wood takes zero energy to point.
Exactly.
It had to be carved into.
Yo.
It had to be branded. Did you hear what I said? Branded.
I could just break off the right stick that already has a little, pointer on it.
It must be a what's that shit called? A garage sale sign. A block of wood pointing the way. Under 66, 16, the teacher treads the way. On every span of ground, he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that their master went that way.
That reminds me of that famous.
That means you're treading your own way then.
And within you go in certain people's homes, there's this footprints painting or thing, and they're usually referring to the anthropomorphic Jesus, which we know, is Yahshua when you get the higher degrees. And it's talking about seeing those footprints there. And it's like, I think it goes along the terms of, Lord, I was going through these hard times and I thought you was walking with me, but I only see one set of footprints. And I think the response is, well, that's because I was carrying you. Those my footprints in the sand as I was carrying you through, you know what I mean, through those troubled times. And that's supposed to be that type joint when you see that pain, it's supposed to make you feel like, oh, damn, that's so heavy. Damn, you know what I mean? I'm not worthy type Wayne's World shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's how that's supposed to go. However, at the same time, if you recognize that that Jesus is the I am identity, you know what I mean? When you speak in metaphysics, you know what I mean? Metaphysics is the science pertaining to ultimate reality, the science pertaining to being. So you got to be that which you know. So even if you think, like, if you're going to live lawfully, that means that you're thinking lawfully, because as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you thinking on some, you know what I mean, hold my hand shit, you know what I mean, then you're not going to carry your own self. You're not going to have your lower self carry your higher self to the next stages that you know what I mean, that you need to have what it is that you need to have for real. So people got to really take that look in the mirror and really see that divine justice that's there within them, and they got to solve their own sums. Because the brothers that's coming from the east, those divine brothers coming from the east, metaphysically, east means within. So the brothers that's, you know, anthropomorphically coming to save those of us here in the far east, termed the most furthest west, here at the North Gate, cosmologically speaking, is going to be those beings that go within themselves, wash their brains of the bullshit that's in it, of acting like they're some type of federal agent without any credentials at all, right? So what they're doing is they're delaying their redemption. They're delaying their resurrection. I yield the floor. Islam.
Yeah, I was thinking like the same as the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Flat out.
The teacher treading the way, that's you. You're the student and the teacher. You're treading the way, right? You're treading the way, and you look back and you can see the way that your master went, which is yourself. You're mastering yourself while treading the way, you know what I mean?
Everyone's a born master. You're just here being taught and reminded how to do so.
And just because
everyone's a guru.
Exactly.
Technically, yeah. Everyone is Jupiter. You can expand your own means. Because in Vedic astrology, guru is the name for Jupiter.
Indeed.
However, when we say gurus out here, like you hear Malika saying, we're talking about people bullshitting, not taking
literally
commercial gurus.
They bullshit. they Brahma bullshit.
Here you go. You gotta get this to be this.
the dirty gurus.
No, when people come to me and they ask me, do I have to correct my status before I can do this other thing? That makes me feel really sad.
I'm gonna say yes, because I look at status as you're correcting your concepts in mind.
And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for saying that, Hasan, because that's what I start to reflect back to other people. Your correction is of the mind.
Exactly.
Your status correction is of the mind. But when someone's saying, when they're asking, do I have to correct my status? They're meaning, do I have to go through some external process? They're not thinking, okay, I realize I'm not a slave. Last night, I realized, right? Because that would be a correction. But then they wouldn't be asking me that question. You see what I'm saying? If you're asking that question, you don't know it's of the mind.
Correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why I'll say and lastly, the reason why Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, put certain jurisdictions on notice, because I declare. To declare is to be clear within oneself. And then when I proclaim, that means I published what I was already clear about. I wasn't looking for the documentation that I sent to different jurisdictions, right? Certain jurisdictions, quote unquote. I wasn't looking for it. Now that I sent out that documentation, I'm going to get this kind of reward for putting in that documentation. No, that documentation was like, hey, look, I'm clear on who I am. So y'all try some fuck shit. I'm going to keep saying who the fuck I am in different ways. Hey, man, I'm not an employee, right? Y'all say right here in your rules in this title, subsection, this part, You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing. This has nothing to do, and that's what we've been saying all night tonight. You're not an employee. You're not a business. Why aren't you just doing that? Because you being able to, i.e., send your correspondence preceding your special appearance is a clear action pertaining to the thought that you know that you've corrected how you stand. Status, standing, constituting yourself all means the same thing. Con, with, stick, standing, ushin, the condition pertaining to. So this is the condition pertaining to how do you withstand? How do you withstand within your own mind? Because are you standing with your mind, knowing that you have the corrected mind state that you're not a federal agent, state agent, municipal agent, so you don't have to perform under statute, under municipal code, under any type of codes? If you clear on that, then when you do put in documentation, what the fuck you doing is actually letting people know, y'all know I can see you, but you obviously can't see me. Because you seeing me like I'm one of you. I'm not part of Barnum and Bailey. I'm not sitting here juggling. When I touch my nose, it don't go, it don't do that. You feel me?
Indeed.
I yield, bro.
Indeed. Number 67. Compare and explain chapter 4, verse 14, and chapter 17, verses 44 and 45 of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Describe similarities and contrasts. 14. Within 67, men need a pattern for their lives. They like to follow, not to lead. 44, you know that all of my life, I like what comes after that, really. But 44, you know that all my life was one great drama for the sons of men. I have lived to show the possibilities of man. 45, what I have done, all men can do. And what I am, all men shall be.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Mother, really, yeah.
Et ego sum qui sum. 68.
Mm-hmm.
What is a charter?
That's funny because Malika was saying, yo, these last 4 classes to the George Prudence Gym at Lawful Living, these last fucking Bible studies, yo, last couple of Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's what Malika been saying. Hey, did y'all find y'all city or county charter?
I like how everybody reading the constitutions. You can tell, like, most people there, that's the first time they ever seen it in their ever-loving life. But yet we want to call ourselves law-abiding. You never read anything. You don't know what you're doing. Stop pretending. You don't know what you're doing.
Yo, I really say studying law really is an exercise. Like, yo, I know when you first start studying, you read one page and you be like, what the fuck? Jurisdiction, all these words that you don't know, you know what I mean? But when you do define the words and, you know, cross-reference and stuff, day after day after day, you building that exercise, that studying muscle. That's really a mental muscle that you need to build, because if you're looking at a document like, oh, and you're dreading reading it, like you're fucking weak in your mind, and you really need to be able to, oh, these 10, 20 pages, all right, let's knock this out. You know what I mean? You need to have the energy to want to actually go into these things and comprehend them. You know what I mean? So
it's the keys to freedom. And when people like, no, I just can't do it, I'm like, oh, are you the mystical creature that everybody talks about?
That's
the one who's born to be a slave because they can't run their own life. Is that you? Most people don't want to answer yes to that question, but the answer is yes for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's like Obama saying, you know, ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs.
Wow. It's okay if somebody says that. The what's terrible is there's people going, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's all bad.
Fucking horrible. Who actually goes, I concur with that insult.
Massive amounts of people concur.
I did not know that I was going to be on here talking to a bunch of people that's illiterate.
Wow. Wow.
Number 69. How many large bodies of water are there on the Earth planet? 70. What is the significance of a national seal? 71. What is your understanding of the Universal Postal Code? 72. Why is a knowledge and functional comprehension of the universal postal code important? Questions lot 9.
Uh-huh.
73. What are unalienable rights?
What are they?
74. What are inalienable rights? 75. What is truth?
Ooh, truth is odd. Let me stop. Go ahead.
76. What is corpus delicti? 70. What they don't got ever. 77. What is
unless you know,
right?
literally.
Unless I take off my turban and go back to that state where the prophet found me, then I might be, you know, off my principle out there creating corpus delicti, right? But 77, what is habeas corpus? 78, what does justice mean? 79, what is liberty? Oh, liberty is
do you
liberty
want
is when
it?
I get my check every first.
Oh no. You liar.
80, what is extraneous control? 81, what is the zodiac constitution? Describe its philosophical component disciplines.
And it's funny too, because in the chat after Donnell says plus paperless and electronic, you have no record of so-called contract and no meeting of the mind in effect, so no contract, right? Then an account that says Martin Elliott says article 4, it says Zodiac Constitution, Ellen Bays can demand adequate employment, etc. Can you brothers and sisters speak on the enforcement of that article as it relates to the subject matter tonight? Well, the enforcement, and enforce means to strengthen. So the enforcement of you having adequate so-called employment can be two ways. You can gainfully make yourself do something out of your own creativity. You can take some like pencils and crayons and or paint and take like an 8.5 by 11 and draw and paint and then go outside and sell your paintings. That's one way of enforcing employment. However, if you're talking about you want to work for someone else, I think Mother Malika spoke on that when she actually said how her sons went about, you know, finding some way to exercise their energy in exchange for compensation for their energy. However, at the same time, what they did was they knew how to enforce showing these people, hey, these rules, this status of person or being has to do what's being required. They do not qualify to produce documentation for this, the reason that that's not their status. However, you cannot deny them access to be able to exchange their energy for compensation. And that's in harmony with, if you want to look at Article 4 pertaining to the Zodiac Constitution, that's the one you said you quote, and then you need to look to Article 24 in the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, where every so-called agency, state agency, are supposed to assist, quote unquote, indigenous people to attain the highest standard of whatever it is that we are to have and what we need without discrimination, which goes back to people shouldn't have to prove what their nationality is. You guys got to remember, we've been given what we've been given being Moorish American so that we don't muck up our position. A lot of people declare and proclaim their nationality, and then they want to go and show you how to discharge debt and then be a secure party creditor. And want you to listen to their blog talk radio or go to class or their Zooms or whatever. And you clearly see that once you listen to what we're saying, you hear what Seven Hill Star is saying, and then we like, yo, yeah, even though we students and staff, I don't give a fuck what people in mental bondage to sense consciousness saying. Although we're student and staff pertaining to Moor's Heritage and History School, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Student, teacher, staff. So when that happens and we go, not only are we student and staff pertaining to Moor's Heritage and History School, and we got what we got from R.B. Bey Publications without really even knowing that some of these beings get drunk and still smoking cigarettes You're supposed to be at. Go sit your ass down. And then we go like, yo, but go holler at Mother Malika over here for real, yo, because I think this, because y'all already know what the deal is. Wherever you go, you Moorish American. When you come out, you Moorish American. You want to denationalize yourself, whatever, cool, that's on you. But the reason why, when you grasp this, how you grasp this, because you wouldn't even have a semblance of United States if it wasn't for 35 Moorish sons and 20 Albion sons to have this quote unquote union to get the fuck along and stop these wars that there's record of when you look at world history. That's the whole point of even having this shit. And then motherfuckers continue a fucking belligerent, warlike mindset and countenance within the union. Hey, look, man, y'all are Albion sons and daughters. Y'all not white people. However, we owe y'all this because we did these experiments at Patagonia for real, and we shouldn't have kept putting dick in your mothers and shit, which we kept in our harem. That's why you got an American Republic. That's why you got the Daughters of the American Revolution, because those are the Albion daughters wearing our mother's fezzes that we had as concubine in our harems, and don't even realize that that's what the fuck we dealing with right now. Flat out, that's what we dealing with. So with that being said, at the end of the day, it's really like, what are we really doing here? Other than really getting back to where we fell from, get the fuck up, and now let's move forward for real. Don't nobody give a fuck about your Patreon. Don't nobody care whose son you are. Don't nobody care how many followers you got on a social media platform. You ain't talking like this. And if you start to talk like this, after we told y'all last year to come fuck with Malika and us and on that shit, and you handed us your ass to kiss, we gonna make sure that any and everybody that come across y'all after that be like, yeah, yo, we told them, but they rejected us. So these people can stop fucking with you for real. Or they gonna sit here and ask you the question, hey, yo, so why you ain't do X, Y, and Z? And then you can listen how they lie for real. Because y'all gonna have to start seeing what it's like when people tell the truth, and then when it's like when people lie. I don't care if you're Moorish American. You on some fuck shit, you already know you deserve a scimitar. So nobody trying to hear that shit. Yeah. So when we stand how we stand and we doing what we doing, that's what it is. I get what you say, bro.
You say yeah. I'm strengthening. I'm strengthening that. I'm reinforcing that.
Yeah.
Flat out. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers be on some bullshit with this shit, fucking up the movement, y'all. Sit here and we like, yo, we'll go to lawful living, get your concepts correct. That's why when we be talking to people on almost an everyday basis, from Albion sons to Albion daughters to Moorish sons to Moorish mothers, you see what I'm saying? Because we know that everybody here is fuck. We just showed y'all, what was that, Friday or last Friday, that the whole Moorish nation is the Moabite mothers and sons and the Albion sons and daughters that are here at the North Gate. And it's really across the whole planet because there's no land separated. Just because it's oceans. Look, check this out. Imagine from this hand, from my left hand to my right hand, it's a bowl in between it. My body's still fucking connected. My hand's still part of my body. But just because I put a bowl between my hands, that don't mean that my hands have separated because of the tectonic plate shit. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all want some dumb shit for real. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, when you really get the higher sciences or whatever, like when these elders shared this information with me and I did my further research, I actually realized like, yeah, yo, that status correction shit in your mind, yo, is really where it's at. Fuck that paperwork. The paperwork could be a piece of toilet paper with your mother's lipstick drawn on what the fuck you saying for real. Or you can take a brick and draw on chalk with the brick and throw it through a motherfucker. No, don't throw it through nobody's window. But the point I'm making is, like once you correct where you at right here, you're not gonna be entertaining that Negro black colored bullshit that people be talking, y'all. Oh well, my belief, man, fuck your beliefs. What do you know?
If I can,
like what you know.
If I can just get that document that I had in my hard drive, then I could be able to save myself. If I could just find that document that Seven Hillstar wrote for me. No, we ain't writing documents.
But yo, I'm just saying though. But look, how do I get in the lawful living, yo? Like I donated to Malika $1.52, And how come she won't let me in the class? Because you being disrespectful for real, yo. Like, come on, yo. Like, even I was like, shit, that's all I got. Let me just keep giving what I got. And eventually that shit added up. And I was like, oh, mortgage free. Boom. All right, cool. It added up. But I'm not looking at like, okay, I gave a penny. She said donate. I gave a penny. Why don't you let me in? Nah, yo, you gotta really see what this is, because it's a troll toll. Is you really about this life or no? Or you gonna be on some shit where you gonna sit here, come into Jurisprudence Gym, see all this exercise equipment, and you sitting in the corner talking about, damn, them weights look heavy. Get the fuck out of here then, man. Like, that's what it is for real. You feel me? But whatever. I yield, Joe.
Number 82. According to the Quran questions for Moorish Americans, what does the word colored mean? Number 83. What are the significant differences between rights versus privileges? Ooh. 84. What is the political source of law? 85. In government, what does sovereignty mean? 86. What is a constitution? 87. Name the 8 parts of speech. Killing them right there. Just with that one question. Killing them.
Killing them. She killing them on every question.
Every question, pretty much. No, for real. 88. What is the Moorish Divine and National Movement? 89.
Like, I don't want to think. I don't know.
It hurts.
It hurts.
89. What is a municipality? 90. What is a trust? Questions lot 11. These questions are funny, yo, when you actually study these things already. 91. What is the role of a trustee? 92. In law, what does the phrase tacit acquiescence mean? I just used that a couple days ago in my notice. 93. In government and civics, what is naturalization?
Naturalization is that shit Joel Bratton Bey was doing some few years back. And at the top of his documentation, before your Sharon Tracy Gale dumbasses and all the rest of the Moorish American consulate dumbasses, respectfully, y'all some idiots, yo. Flat out, I don't care what you say. I don't care who you are, who your mother is. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Because y'all tried to circumvent RV Bay publications, get the finances to go to y'all. And I'm gonna keep it a bang with you. Mother Ross Mariah B Bay, she don't give me no finances. She ain't sending me no type of incentives. I'm telling you all from my experience, I ain't do what the fuck y'all did. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, no, I'm not violating that 3. I'm enforcing the second principle, which is truth. Y'all want some dumb shit for real. When y'all out here really naturalizing people, and the top of that documentation say consular courts.
Sure.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's not what the documentation is supposed to say. Y'all all part of a sting operation. Which really, that's what Joel Bratton Bey and them was doing a few years back for real. So y'all just came and revamped that shit Joel Bratton Bey was doing and naturalizing people. That's why you got these dumbass Moors out here wearing turbans mostly, talking about their English national. Yo, sit your dumb ass down.
Yo, it makes sense now why the naturalization paper would say consular court at the top, because it's really those foreigners here at Morocco that have consular affairs that's supposed to be naturalizing people, not into their stuff. You don't naturalize as being the home team. If this is your shit, how are you naturalizing? If you're naturalizing foreigners.
Correct. So that they can be clothed. They can be clothed. They can be clothed under the principle called just solely by those that are just sanguineous. You see what I'm saying? Just sanguineous is the right of blood. Just solely is the right of soil, which means since you come over my crib, we're going to give you the equal rights and protection. However, when I put my feet up on a coffee table, don't put your feet up on a coffee table because you ain't got that much privilege.
Indeed. Number 94. Compare and contrast the words legal and lawful. Number 95. According to the Islamic code, what can be said about the subject of citizenship in Morocco? Number 96. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Number 97.
Right here. We ain't going anywhere. Okay.
Number 97, in constitutional government functions, what is a delegation of authority order? Number 98, according to Moorish tradition and customs, how old in years is one required to be to become a qualified member of the Council of Elders?
I think you got to be at least 50 on some real shit. I'm gonna keep it a band with you.
Number 99, what are the Christian Black Codes of 1724?
Oh no.
And that brings us into questions lot 12. 100, what is a magistrate? 101, being Moorish Americans, what principles must we always customarily exercise? 102, what is diversity? 103, what is subject matter jurisdiction? 104, what is territorial jurisdiction? 105, what year did the German/Dutch European and President of the United States Corporation, Dwight D. Eisenhower, relinquish jurisdiction at Morocco and also dissolve consular courts? 106.
Hold up, yo, time out. And I just said that earlier about the Dwight D. Eisenhower relinquishing jurisdiction, bro, in 1956. And remember, Mother Delilah and Brother Taj produced these questions. I remember getting these questions, I think, January 2018. Originally, when I first got these questions, man, right before 5 months before them Diglett brother and sister, Shalay Moore, what is Guy Ritchie? No, it's not Guy Ritchie. What is it?
Mark Guy
Mark
Ritchie?
and Pauline. Yeah, those Diglett looking Pokemon ass motherfuckers. Them.
What is it? Diglett? Oh no.
Yeah, they look just like Diglett. The big ass nose. Like one looked like the other one just with a wig on. Yeah. Oh, I'm being mean? No, I'm not. You motherfuckers is idiots, and your spirit make you look ugly. That's what I'm really talking about. I yield.
Yeah, gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all looking at it.
Gotta catch them all.
106, what is a quo warranto? 107, what does venue mean? 108, what is a constitutional officer as distinguished from one who arbitrarily claims a public office or trust?
Like people that get a driver's license with no motherfucking oath of office, contract, or autographed certified statement saying that they're performing functions of public office at the pleasure of the governor doing trade or business. That's what an arbitrarily, officer claims. I yield.
Yeah, I still got the so-called judges' oath, the two judges' oaths that have the same signature on them.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's arbitrary right there. The following are additional directives and instructions from our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and like the many other lessons shared, they should be helpful as inspirational tools for our work. It is the duty and responsibility of all loyal Moorish Americans to project and to preserve those principles and activities that serve to build upon and promote the Moorish Divine and National Movement.
To protect and preserve. See that? Not protect and serve. To protect and preserve.
Protect and preserve, indeed.
Look at that.
Because when you protection is already a form of service. After all, that great humanitarian movement was established to help uplift the people and to promote the restoration.
That's what you just said.
Of your losses that
earlier.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Islam. I just thought about that right when I read it too. Therefore, one does for the Moorish Divine and National Movement. Wait. Therefore, what one does for the Moorish Divine and National Movement, one does for self as well as for others.
Man, read that shit again with the exclamation point.
Right.
Read that again.
That's like when I'm putting in notices to these people. I know all these people out here deal with this company because they monopolize the power out here, the natural resources. So what I'm doing is not just for me.
Correct. So that is the principle termed X. I know they just put E period, but they're only putting E period to try to deal with because of the Masonic 13 letters. Fuck that. It's 14 of them. Ex pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Then if that's the case, on the flip side, out of one, many. Like if you can't discriminate for somebody's national origin or nationality, then you don't need to prove that shit neither. That means that you need to not be a belligerent ass trustee and release the hereditaments with your dumb ass.
Yes, indeed. So therefore, what one does for the Moorish Divine International Movement, one does for self as well as for others. It's the same principle in law. Like when you bring a suit, you're doing it for all, because if a constitutional ruling goes in, or a ruling on a constitutional question, that affects the whole of those beings who are or enforcing the Constitution.
Oh yeah, and for those beings out there, man, well, why don't the Moors that know just do for the rest of us? The thing is not that we're not doing it, it's just that when we do it, you don't recognize that it's being done.
Islam.
Because the principle is right fucking there.
Remember also that the prophet stated, I am a universal prophet, and my philosophy will be universal. I came to you Moors, my people, because you needed me the most.
Islam.
What you gonna do then?
Yo, look.
Like really, what can you say now? Anything, anybody who claim they Moorish American and they still wanna we gonna call the wambulance, like Malika said. Call the wambulance. Because y'all look, it's not that we don't care about what has happened to you in your mistreatment. We just recognize that many, if not most or all, have been mistreated. So therefore, what we're going to do is keep sharing this information how we share with you, recognizing that you're still under hypnosis. So therefore, it's like, all right, cool, because you don't recognize that you, in the condition you in, is a fucking vampire. You're trying to vampire energy so you can find some fucking solace in your own depression, because you motherfuckers is depressed and you got anxiety issues. Flat out. You just do. And then you want to dump that shit onto us, and now we fucking Atlas and shit talking about, well, we got the world of everybody's problems on our, fuck that. I'm up, boop, drop that shit right back on your shoulders. Because now you have the mindset and the concepts to deal with it and recognize that whole time all you've been doing is just holding your arms up and bent over. Why don't you stand your ass up and put your arms down, because there's no weight on your neck except your dumbass thinking. That's what's heavy.
Yeah. Actually, I just read something like that, bro. It was like a quote from the Dalai Lama. I'm not like repping for him or nothing, but it's just a quote I seen. I'm about to find it real quick, because it's exactly what you're saying there. It's right here. Nothing in the world can bother you as much as your own mind. I tell you, in fact, others seem to be bothering you, but it is not others. It is your own mind.
Islam.
Yeah.
Islam.
Excerpt.
Yo, if you go back up, scroll back up real quick, because what you just said is just real slightly right there. After all, their great humanitarian movement was established to help uplift the people and to promote the restoration of your or our lost estate. And earlier we was talking about estate, status, state, a state of mind. That's it.
Right.
It's not, you have to be a part of whatever to be. No.
Yeah, that's like when I said, it's not the land that they occupy, it's your mind. You fund your own oppression all the time, because it's us, the people, who are spread out throughout the land. The government, so-called people who work for the government, it's not that many. Most of them are really just people like us that are not in the know of what's going on. They're the common people that are working for these people. They keep their institutions alive by working for them. However, it's not like they always say. I know you guys hear often that 1%, 1%. So a 1% of humanity, right? Like a better word, cannot occupy all the land. It's impossible. It's really us and it's really your mind being occupied. Therefore, it's like Agent on Matrix. Once they stab you, you're one of them now. So that's how they're occupying the land through
Agent
you.
Smith, Agent Smith. Everybody's walking around like Agent Smith.
They cipher. They really cipher though. They're not even Agent Smith, yo. They like they cipher, yo.
I think some of the attorneys are cipher, but most people are really Agent Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say both is definitely applicable here because as soon as people are being cipher, since they don't want to lose the lie that the Matrix tells their mind, and they immediately
some people are the Merovingian. Shoot.
Yeah, they do try to design that shit, talking about come to my security party credited class and I'll teach you how to be a better cipher.
Yo, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's it.
I like the hand movements.
I'm gonna show you how to discharge debt. Like the fuck.
They all need each other.
Idiots, man. They're talking about, and I'm pretty sure somebody who listening or like, damn, yo, that's fucked up. How they talking about the brother? They helped me out so much. They help you get your ass whipped by policy enforcers.
We love living a lie. The people love living a lie. So then when you don't want to live a lie, it's like, damn, why you not living a lie? That's basically what it is.
Rihanna ass motherfuckers. Just wanna stand there and watch me cry. Stop it. Rihanna ass motherfucker. All right.
The truth is
we almost done this document, and Malika can share the notice from the Department of Justice, Department of Health and Human Services, and I forgot she said it's a third one too.
Let me get a share. I'm gonna show everybody the document.
Yeah, I gave you co-host. Hold on, let me see how long.
Yeah, but you gotta stop. You gotta stop sharing whatever is on here so people can see my screen.
All right, hold on 2 seconds. I'm gonna read this real quickly then, so we can move on with this document. 2 seconds.
I can read it if you want, bro. If you want me to close it out.
Go ahead, close it out real quick. Knock it out. I won't interrupt.
Excerpt from Additional Laws for Moorish Americans by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1, Grand Sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 5, all members must promptly attend their meeting and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must conform himself to the questioning, and let every member exercise his 5 senses is able to do so, because out of your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. All nations will turn against the United States one day. That is a quote from Prophet Noble Drew Ali, right? I have completed this open book test to the best of my knowledge and ability, and trust that it is a qualified measure of my degree of competence at this time, and that I may be conferred upon for consideration as a competent member for Moor's Consul and for and for Consular Court Restoration.
Consular Court Restoration.
Yeah.
That means that the Moorish Americans are going, hey, you federal, state, and municipal agents, you want to be here doing what you're doing? Then you guys got to do what the Dwight D. Eisenhower had relinquished in 1956. Other than that, when the people really study, only thing you're gonna be saying is, I think I want to be hung in the green noose. Yeah, that one. That's my favorite color, the green one. Yeah, hang me in that, because that's what's gonna happen, because you have way too much evidence of treason since 1956, and really since 1865, actually. Because Lincoln was the last so-called quote-unquote lawful president. So there's compound interest that needs to be paid. What you think, we don't know this? What you think, we just they're just 7 Hill Star. They only got about 400 subscribers on their YouTube. Nobody's listening to them. Bullshit. The ones that are listening is telling the people that ain't online. How about that? I'm gonna yield the floor here. And like Mother Delilah said a couple Sundays ago on Prophet Overdraw Solar Return on the 8th, that people was, filling this out, autographing it and then sending it to her, man. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't even expected like that because it was just supposed to have been for you guys only, for your own selves, amongst you and your peers, within your own Moorish Juris Consult circle, for real. And right now, the Juris Consult circle is the jurisprudence gem at Lawful Living. You see what I'm saying? So again, I know she here. Shout out to Malika and Sonny, Keith, Bobby, Nick Real, everybody there. And Woman Joe. I'm trying to think of everybody I can think of, Malika, for real. Because everybody do contribute. That's one of the best examples besides R.V. Bey Publications and Moore's Heritage and History School. Like I remember when I was coming up, 2014, and the recordings that I heard previous to then, the community that's really making sure you on point, because you can't come to Lawful Living and say some shit in community. Somebody gonna jump on you. I done seen a couple times. Robin Marie done jumped on people. Like, I don't think there's any people here living in Virginia. Look, y'all better stop that shit. These mothers ain't playing. Malika, I yielded the screen share, so you good to go. Because I know you got co-hosts.
Okay, so this document anybody can find online. Just use your favorite search engine and look it up by name. United States Department of Justice. This is called the United States Department of Health and Human Services and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is their logo. You can find it online by looking it up as a joint letter. You can see that it's only a few years old. And it's a very powerful document to use as an attachment. But of course, you have to know what it is you're talking about and who it is you're talking to and how you can use this letter based on what it's saying for your benefit and create whatever document you wish. You can use it in any way you want, any creative way that you wish. So this letter starts off by saying, "Dear recipients of federal financial assistance." This is all the various agencies of the states that are receiving any type of federal financial assistance. The United States Department of Housing, Urban Development, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Justice issue this joint letter to remind recipients of federal financial assistance that they should not withhold certain services based on so-called immigration status when the services are necessary to protect life or safety.
There's really some more written after that.
Yeah, that's like oh
that
yeah, I need somewhere to live. Oh well, we can't rent to you. You don't have a social security number. What?
Exactly. They
First of all,
can't do
you're not
that.
supposed to be charging me because I'm not using the space for commercial purposes.
Speak of the English, so we can't rent you this apartment.
This is not a new policy. Look at that.
Jesus.
Not a new policy, but one we think is important to restate. Some grant recipients, and remember, these are the agencies, mistakenly believe that they are not authorized to provide critical life-saving services. Well, we can't let you in this hospital unless you give us a social.
Oh, I bet you they took my baby in there when I took her in there with no ID.
Of course, better.
Oh, I remember I went to the hospital and I gave them my appellation RA, but they sent me mail and they misspelled it. So sorry. I went in the trash.
Yo,
man. Life-saving services to certain categories of people. We're just going to say people, and you're going to see why if you read the rest of this. This is not the case. As explained in greater detail below, immigration status is not a bar to providing certain services necessary to protect life or safety. That includes keeping your water on, keeping your lights on, making sure you stay in sound shelter, keeping the heat on, the gas, such as emergency shelters, short-term housing assistance, including transitional housing, crisis counseling, and intervention programs. In the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act, Congress restricted people's access to certain public benefits, but also established a set of exceptions to these restrictions. In particular, Congress provided that the following services are accepted from restrictions on immigrant access to certain benefits.
Accepted, not ACC accepted. This is EXC accepted, which means they're the exception.
Yes.
These are the exceptions from restrictions. So these should not be restricted. All right, I yield.
Program services or assistance such as soup kitchens, crisis counseling and interventions, short-term shelters, specifically by the Attorney General. So you already know, Attorney General, in the Attorney General's role, and under unreviewable discretion after consultation with the appropriate federal agencies and departments. Unreviewable.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on.
it's the only one. Attorney General is the only one, and it can't be reviewed again.
Okay. Which delivery in kind service at the.
Hold on 1 second. Emotional outburst. In the Attorney General's sole and unreviewable. Sole is only in a sense, and it's also, when I think of the way soul is spelled like that, it means what they must stand on. Because soul is the bottom of your feet. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is where I'm staying. I'm not moving from this. So this, so it can't move from that.
Sounds like a foundation.
Period. All right, I yield.
Because you don't move off your foundation. If you do, the house falls apart. Which deliver in like-kind services at a community level, including through public and private nonprofit agencies, do not condition the provision of assistance, the amount of assistance provided, or the cost of assistance provided on the individual recipient's income or resources. And 3, necessary for the protection of life and safety. So if they have the services available, they have to make them available.
That sounds like the same thing with access to the courts.
Oh yeah.
You mean, what do you mean I gotta tell you, you know, the 5 people that stay with me, you want like their whole life story on this document? Like, what do you
right. And again, it's not that the law says they have to ask, because they have to identify these Title 18, you know, citizens.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Wow. So that was 8, just like when we read the Title 34, the Code of Federal Regulations, that was referring to 8 USC 1101. What was that? B22 or A22, something like that. I yield.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then it's discriminatory. Then, you know, when you do disclose, oh yeah, I don't have income. No, I don't have that. I don't have any of that either. Then they turn around and say, oh, we think you're trying to you're trying to conceal assets. Like, what?
Come check then. Come see who's going to be brave enough to disclose you my information that I never gave them permission. Come test me now.
Basically, and so then it's all right. Hold on. Then it's like this. Then
that's a great point.
With the no discrimination thing, they shouldn't be asking in the first place. Therefore, maybe our only response.
No, they're supposed to ask. They just can't deny you based upon it. The answer.
Okay.
But that's the fucked up part, because the whole purpose of asking is to make a determination whether
exactly.
No, see, you guys, no. The point of asking is to identify federal agents.
Under Title 26.
Okay.
You did say that earlier.
Okay.
You did say
that is the purpose. Unfortunately, we people believe that, oh, they're asking because it means I must be that class of person, or I must have that documentation, or else that's justification for me being denied. And that's not true. This is what this letter is saying.
Right. Okay.
So in 2001, after consulting with other federal agencies, including HUD and Health and Human Services, the Attorney General issued an order reiterating the 3-pronged test established in that act by specifying the types of programs, services, or assistance determined to be necessary for protection of life or safety. Come on, how is that not housing?
That's
Secure housing,
harmony.
having your water on, having your electricity on, having gas. So how is that not?
That's in harmony with Article 24 of the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous People. Like, you already know I got an eye for joinder. So it's like, hold up, yo, that tie in with that.
Exactly. I was thinking about that the whole time.
It's all that, it's like that document that Ara just read with the, you know, what they're supposed to do.
Hey, look,
So,
this is page 2 because there was a page 1. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Okay, now they keep saying short-term shelter, or some of them just gonna pick on the main ones. Okay, so they already telling you about this is allegedly CPS. Okay, victims of domestic violence, blah blah blah. But most people want to make sure they got a pot to piss in, and so that's where the housing assistance for homelessness. They can't have programs to help homelessness, but then so-called statutes and laws that can make people homeless. That's an oxymoron, my people. You have to learn how to use letters like this that show that they're supposed to be helping homeless people to prove that they cannot also have programs to make people homeless. That is it's implausible. It renders this type of stuff ridiculous. And you have to know how to point that out. So then again, they talk about services, helping individuals during periods of heat, cold, and adverse weather conditions. Hello, you got to give people housing. You got to give them AC and heating. All right.
Unless you're going to leave them, unless you're going to leave them alone on their own lands, the way that, you know, according to their customs, how they live, leave them the fuck alone then.
You can leave them alone, but if they are is so-called in need of the service, you cannot deny it.
And that back to the United Nations Declaration on Rights of Indigenous People. Indigenous people have the right to participate in the life of the state, but Indigenous people cannot be forced into assimilation.
Right.
Correct.
You can't force anybody into doing anything, really. You have to have their consent.
Even the babies don't fuck around. Like, I'm not eating that. They're not going to eat
for real.
You're going to be mad.
Okay, so they reiterate it here, the Attorney General order number. So you can use just the order numbers. Remain in effect, and it is important that government-funded and community-based programs, services, or assistance, as specified in the Attorney General order, remain accessible to all eligible individuals, regardless of immigration status.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, in particular, access to shelter, housing are crucial. They like to throw in like it's an emergency, dating violence. It's an emergency to be homeless. Come on.
Correct.
Oh my God, that reminds me of this. I just seen a video about the homelessness in California, and then they were talking about how in these rehab places, they have needles and packs and stuff showing you how to use the drugs that you're supposed to be getting off of. Like, they have all the equipment needed to get high and tell you how to. They want you to not stop getting high, because you know how when Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, but don't stop everything at once because it might hurt something. Like, they're kind of like taking that and running with it. Like, yo, you know, don't stop doing the drugs. This is how you do a small portion of it. And it's like, for the people who are in rehab and they walk in there and they see that shit, they're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna?
Because they can't really afford to have people strong.
We're talking about state program. Like the state is providing.
Yes, I know what you mean, because they can't afford. They need people who need them.
Yeah,
flat out.
It's crazy.
That's true.
Accordingly, this letter is a reminder to recipients of federal funding that administer programs, those agencies, that are 1, necessary for the protection of life and safety, 2, deliver in-kind services at a community level, and 3, do not condition the provisions of assistance, the amount of assistance, the cost of assistance on the individual's recipient income sources. Such programs are not subject to the Act's restrictions on immigrant status. to public benefits and must be made available. Must be made available to eligible persons without regard to citizenship, nationality, or immigration status. So if they need to make it available without regard, that means you don't have to tell them anything. I don't have to tell you anything.
I mean, that is what that is exactly saying, though. Like, I can see that clearly. It's the dual-edged sword pertaining to the word, right? Because words, when you move the S from the end of words, it becomes sword. When you put it to the beginning and transpose that S from the end to the beginning, and it becomes a dual-edged sword, because on one end of it, you got employees seeking for people to acquiesce tacitly and capitulate, and then be like, oh, well, hold on, let me find my.
Well, they're
GI,
asking for
GID.
it, and the agents asking for it think that they can only provide it if they have the information. But then the people who they're asking for it also believe the same unfounded stuff, because neither side is reading anything.
No, they're just being told what to do.
And nobody's asking any questions.
Correct.
That's the problem, yeah.
See, Medicaid is available irrespective of the individual's immigration status for treatment of emergency medical conditions, including labor and delivery for pregnant women, if the individual otherwise meets Medicare eligibility requirements. So they can't deny you any service.
At all. You need me to pour the water, hon? You need me to pour the water? Oh, all right.
Okay.
I yield, Joe.
So this is, they keep repeating it over and over. They give the example of people who are, let me see if it says it down here. This is where they start to tell them that they're violating the Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
So they're even
Title
showing
6.
like, they're showing like, period, like no matter who you are, no matter what your nationality or national origin is, or whatever the case may be, not only are you guys discriminating, but you're violating some shit that we already implemented to provide remedy for everyone overall.
Yep.
So
It says
that's
it's
why
critical to keep in mind that organizations and agencies that receive federal funding must not discriminate against individuals on a basis prohibited by this title of the act. The Fair Housing Act, all these different acts here, Community Development Act, you know, they just can't do it.
So not only are these, when you're thinking of the acts, like we said earlier, it was like, well, maybe somebody asking, well, I thought they was only for employees and federal, state, or municipal agents. Okay, we'll give you that. However, it's also saying that the general sentient beings, the common sentient beings, aren't to be deprived either, whether they are a United States citizen or not.
Right.
Yo, this reminds me of like the whole discrimination in places of public accommodation. Brings me back to the mask days where I was pressing them hard about not letting me in the store because I won't put on a mask is discrimination in places of public accommodation. There's state and federal laws against that.
Right. And they were receiving federal funding to implement those statutes and codes, but it's not supposed to be on everybody. See here, it says denying an individual a public benefit or treating an individual differently because of that individual's race, national origin would violate one or more of these statutes. For an example, a recipient of federal financial assistance may not deny benefits to applicants because they have ethnic surnames or origins outside the United States. Hello.
It makes me think so too when it says national origin. I think like a lot of times when these people are reading these policies, the ones that are providing services, I don't think they realize that, you know, when you discriminate against someone like, for example, hey, I don't have a social security because I don't qualify because I'm a Moorish American. and they go, you know, they act like that's like they're not discriminating against you based on national origin. Like, yes, it is. If I don't like, if it's in my customs and traditions to not do things a certain way, how can you hold me to that and then say you're not discriminating?
Yeah, if it's against my religion to participate in government programs, how could you say you're not violating my religion by saying you won't allow me to participate if I don't go join a government program?
Exactly.
Let me make sure 1 second, Brother Jag, the link that you sent to our Instagram chat and our message chat is, even though I know Malika got it in the folder because we can clearly see it's in folder 40. That's the link though to this document that you sent, right?
Islam.
All right, so I just sent it to one of the bros too, because they just text me like, hold on, I need to get my hands on this joint. So I just sent it to him. So you got that now, bro.
Okay, and they tell you to how to report them. It says HUD, HHS, and DOJ have authority to enforce these laws and may appropriately sanction recipients who disregard federal laws, regulation, or guidance that protect the rights of individuals to gain access to shelter, housing, on other services outlined on a non-discriminatory basis. And they have all the reporting stuff right here. Report any violations of this directive.
Oh, telephones. Oh,
yes.
Telephone numbers. Yes.
I figured you'd enjoy that.
Sounds like a telephony field trip brewing. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shiggity shits now. I like that. I like this. Let me put a little bit of excitement up in your lifestyle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you got some numbers there, people to call. I mean,
you better not wash them dishes. I got them.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to make sure I showed everybody. You know.
Yeah, that's a great letter right there to use.
You could, like I said, use it as an attachment to any type of communication that you want. You just have to understand what it's saying.
I used something like that before. When after I first nationalized, and they tried to take me to family court, and they try to violate my religious freedom. I sent them an attachment. I think it was a public law from Donald Trump at the time when he was
yes
about the religion. I know you've seen that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they granted that shit immediately. They try to make me. First of all, I mean, I don't show up to their venues at all anymore. But back then, I used to still show up because I wasn't, in the same state of mind I am in today. However, they really tried to set a court date for Prophet Noble Drew Ali's Solar Return Day, and I'm like, I'm not showing up till after the 15th, and then on the 11th they close the case before the hearing.
Yeah.
So
they like, this is a Moor for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
they try to test.
Basically, however, you guys go to the Jurisprudence Gym, and like I said, just go back maybe a month of Tuesdays ago. Well, not a whole month. I'm just saying about 4 Tuesdays ago. Then you guys will be grasping on how McReal it is to disqualify these attorneys and so-called magistrates and judges. And that's what I'm liking. Like, I gotta admit, it's like the gears have shifted and turned up a little more at the Jurisprudence Gym, because now it's not just Malika repeating herself. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, motherfuckers, everybody grab your laptop, grab your pen and pencil, write this down. Take this square peg, put it in the square hole. Everybody putting their square peg in the square hole.
Exactly. That's how it was last week. And everybody gets
so I can't find the square peg.
Right. That's how people be on the Someone help me locate my square peg, please.
I found a triangle one.
No, it's going. We're gonna be, we're gonna mark the classes, like you said, so everybody knows exactly where the first one is. So when people ask where to start, that's where we're gonna send everybody to start. So we're gonna watch whatever class 1 is of whatever we decide to call it, then 2, 3, 4. Because if you can grasp that, you can know how to, you're gonna know how to think about your situation so that you could beat them. There's a
pattern. There's a pattern to solving these issues.
Yes.
There is a strategic way of doing your research. I think that's what's most important, is that you show people and we show people, to the best of our ability, how to think with regards to researching the solution to your problem.
Yes, because they give you the answer. Everybody's like, where's the remedy? The remedy is in the code, literally. It's in the fact that they're charging you under a code.
The remedy right there.
That's the remedy, right? Oh, they charge you under code. Who's the plaintiff? The state? Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
And this document, y'all, that Malika is sharing, because shout out to brother Terrell, Tamari Bey with the sauce. I just posted it there in the chat on the YouTube, so you guys can go and get that same document. Also, since when bro just texted me and was like, yo, I need that document, and I was just like, fuck it, let me just put it in the chat, you know what I mean? So you guys can get your hands on it too. So that way you got it, you know what I mean? That reminds me, like I said, I thought I was gonna have to bring up title 18, subsection 1028 for what was that? In the absence of a nationality card, but I don't think I actually do at this point. But maybe if hold on, let me see. I actually do got it open. Since I got it open, oh no, that's larceny. Let me see if I can find another one. That's the one on larceny that we went in a couple of cycles ago, Malika, when you went on that. Let me see, is that it? That's the one for larceny. I guess I'm going to have to open up another one, title 18 USC 1028, but it's actually the since I'm going in as let's see, I'm actually looking for the prohibited acts. Is that it? Let's see, Department of Justice. Okay, so now I got this. I guess I'll put this in the chat too or whatever. So let me actually go to copy this first, and then I'm gonna share it, y'all. Y'all will see. So let me share that to our Instagram real quick, right? Let me go and copy that joint. And so let me post what I'm copying real quick. Let's see. 2 seconds. I got y'all. And then I might as well share a screen now while I'm talking about it, so at least the bros can read it while I'm getting y'all the link to it. So let me hit screen share to even follow up a little more, because so y'all already see, you don't even need to, and I'm not saying that nationality still isn't the order of the day. Remember, these are, I'm gonna say it like Brother Taj said, the things that we were doing before, we may not be doing in the future. So just wanted to put that out there so you guys are clear on what it really is. So let me go there, right, and share that real quick. And who wants to read? Because this, again, from the Department of Justice Archives, right? You see it's Home, Justice Manual, Criminal Resource Manual, CRM 1500 through 1999. All righty, Criminal Resource Manual 1501 through 1599. 1512, Prohibited Acts, 18 USC 1028. I think this is it, right? Am I mistaken? Isn't this the one that says without in the absence of a nationality card?
No. Actually, it's not 1512. I think it's
1508.
1508. Yeah, I think it's 1508.
Okay, I just really remembered that as we were saying it too. So my apologies.
But all the other numbers were correct, though. That's why.
There we go. 1508. Forgive me. I stand corrected.
Specifically mention identification documents, section 1028 of Title 18. I don't know if you could zoom in a little bit for those people who are watching. I can see seconds.
It though. Let me send it to us one more again. Boom, so I can get it to the phone for real quick, and then I can share it through the phone. All right, bro. You want me to zoom in? You said?
Yeah, just for the viewers.
Got you.
All right, section 1028 of Title 18 designates 3 special non-federal identification documents and gives them preferred treatment. It's funny that they call them non-federal when they're issued by state agencies which are carrying out federal programs. But
Mhm.
anyways, these three documents, in the absence of a national identity card, these three documents, in the absence of a national identity card, are the prime means, and I thought about this later too, are the prime means by which an individual establishes his identity in the United States. I'm not really trying to establish my identity in the United States. However, when I'm passing through, because we have the right to pass through, you read the treaty, peace and friendship, we're not supposed to be molested passing through. Anyways, anytime you go in the United States, you're still in Morocco because where they doing business at. The three documents are A, birth certificate, B, driver's license, and C, personal identification card.
If you don't have a nationality card, if your nationality card is absent.
Right, in the absence of one. And again, when you start looking up what is the United States national identity card, the only one that they classify as that is the passport. And then and then the passport's not really, see, because that's what I'm saying, like, yo, the United States has no natal bloodline for them to say, oh, we're the whatever, we're the United Statesians. No, you're not. You are European foreigners of different kinds that created a collection of or conglomerate of what do you call it? Businesses, basically, right? Colonial corporations that turned into, whatever statehood or whatever they want to call it.
So technically, remember, people can't discriminate. If they got so say all you got is your nationality card on you, like me. All I got is my nationality card, my Moor's Heritage and History School student card, and my travel document, my travel card, right? Travel card from RB Bay, right? My right to travel card. That's all I've been carrying on me for the last 9 years, right? I know that I really don't have to pull that card out of my pocket because I could, as we just saw, point out, oh, you want me to participate in discrimination? You know what I mean? Because now you're asking me to qualify and provide you a religious test in disharmony with Article 6 for the United States Constitution ratified, for the North American Republic Constitution for the United States for America ratified 1791. Just by Malika going over that document.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? My nationality card is changing in my pocket.
If you're doing the wrong things.
You see what I'm saying? But however, since I'm doing the right things, you know what I'm saying? If they're doing the wrong things, however, we're doing the right things, why we got to really reach for our nationality card? Because we're clear that the only reason we would have to reach for our nationality card is the fact that we're dealing with belligerent trustees.
Right, because anytime that a so-called ID is required for whatever process to take place, that's being done under a statute. Like, oh, correct. You need an ID to purchase tobacco. Okay, why? Oh, because that's the law. Oh, okay. So you're talking statute now. So I'm bounded how?
So, and look at that then as whatever tools we've used in declaring and proclaiming our nationality in whatever many years it was, you'll get to a point, just like a baby, you no longer need a pacifier. You no longer need a walker. You no longer need a stroller. You no longer need a titty to suck on. So there should come a point in time where you should be able to exude the energy that is briefed in your documents to the point where your mindset should be able to know, well, hold on. Let me go to this statute real quick that these people are governed under and point out to them that, hey, you ain't talking to me, which is what Malika points out in the jurisprudence gym every Tuesday and Thursday. Why the fuck are you all talking to me? Where's the documentary evidence that says I agree for you to fucking talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that simple. I yield, bro.
I don't need a document to talk to you. That's the dumb shit they say. Yo. And speaking of, after this, I want to bring up the document that I was speaking on earlier. I already have it queued. So, A birth certificate is not defined in 18 USC section 1028, since it is self-explanatory. This document is issued by different agencies in different states and foreign countries. Nevertheless, it represents the official governmental statement by the proper government agency that a person having such a name was born on a particular date in a particular place of specific parentage.
Whoa, parentage. There's a fucking military term.
Obviously, a birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to him. There are few
Jesus,
physical
Bruce Lee Christ. Hold on, bro. Whoa, run that back.
right, because
bro.
it's hearsay.
Rewind.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, a birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to him.
Whoa, they just said that you're a fucking idiot. If you really read that shit, they just said like, yo, you know, because you should look. This document is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document. Hey, yo,
pertains to him, yeah.
Oh my, yo, that. What? Are you guys, am I the only one that just read what he said? Back to Title 5, United States Code 301. Health and Human Services, human research, human subject research.
Yep.
Under Title 40 is Title 45, if I remember, Malika had posted in the Cancel CPS. Title 45, Code of Federal Regulations, Part 46 is what we're talking about. Who the authority of that birth certificate document, that foundling certificate, is 5 United States Code. 5 United States Code. And hold on, let me go to my lawful living notes real quick, because we already know I got notes and we ain't gonna even play. Let's go to my lawful living notes so I can make sure that I'm
for those who
boom, there you go. There you go, right there. That's the notes that Malika posted. That's the notes. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Hold on. Let me make sure I got these. Make sure I'm looking at this properly. Boom, there it is. Code of Federal Regulations, Title 45, Public Welfare, Department of Health and Human Services, Part 46, Protection of Human Subjects.
Yo, for those who didn't figure it out when they were told that they live in the projects, like, yo, yeah, you live in the projects and you're a human subject, a research subject.
Flat out. I remember in this video, Malika was like, doesn't that give you guys like an eerie feeling? Because it should. Like you're being experimented on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you talking about, well, when I have my baby, what I'm gonna do about the birth certificate? Okay, all right. You need to know what that actually is. Because the proper thing for you to do is just find a pen and write it in your Bible or holy book, Koran, Torah, Pentateuch, Apocrypha, whatever. I yield.
Indeed. There are few physical characteristics that remain the same as those at the time of birth. Nevertheless, the birth certificate has become, quote unquote, commonly accepted as an identification document in this country.
Bro, that shit is plausible as fuck because it got quotations around it.
Lying?
What commonly accepted, even though
obviously, it's like, duh. Birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to them.
So even the mothers are talking about, oh, but what I'm gonna do about our birth certificate for my baby? What? Did you just read that sentence that's highlighted?
Yo, people be like, oh, you didn't get a birth certificate. Well, how's your baby gonna work when they get older? Why do you want my baby to be a slave? B, driver's license, quote unquote. is not defined in 18 U.S.C. section 1028. Of course not. The original purpose of this government issued document was to state that a particular person was authorized to operate a vehicle upon the public roadways. It was not intended to become, quote unquote, commonly accepted as the quote unquote national identity card. Section 1028 covers both domestic as well as foreign government issued driver's licenses.
Yo, you know what I'm thinking about right there, right?
Public law 89 dash public law 89 dash 5 89 dash 563. That's
funny. That's funny because you're talking about the what's that? The National Highway and Transportation
Safety Program,
Safety Act or whatever. I'm also thinking about 26 USC 7701 H2C1. Because how are they authorized if they didn't make a certified statement? Yo, I can hear Keith now. Certification is false.
mm-hmm.
Yo. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the humanity. Okay, are you?
Yes. It was not intended to establish one's identity. Because of the absence of a better document, however, the driver's license eventually has become.
Hold on. In the absence of a what?
Better document.
In the absence of a better document.
Such as a national identity card.
What is happening? What are we doing this year? No, really, guys. I can ask that question every year and it's consistent. What are we doing this year? Whereas Brother R eloquently wrote, what you doing this sun cycle? Serious. Like, what are we doing this year? The better document is your nationality card. There you go. Oh my God, this is from the Department of Justice. Like, do you guys see this? It's literally from the Department of Justice. Yo, hey, Malika, you think this is K4 managing this website? Let me stop. Like, yo, I'm just saying, look at this shit. What the fuck, yo? Yo, guys, you have got to study this. Like, don't just believe what we're putting up, guys. Like, seriously, go and study this. You know what I mean? Go and study it. Don't just try to be slick and try to have stuff.
All right.
Please, like, seriously, be yourself. Hey, look, Mother Sahar put in the chat. So you mean we can't authenticate the birth certificate? She, of course, puts laughing emojis behind that question mark, bro. Yo, oh my God, bro. Like,
it was never intended to identify you. These are all special documents
that can be considered in the absence of a better document, which is your nationality identification card.
Yeah. See, personal identification card. This is the third special document in lieu of a better document, right? Is defined in 18 U.S.C. section 1028 D4. So they have a definition for personal identification card. It means an identification document issued by a state or local government solely for the purpose of identification. Quote, this definition would appear to limit such documents to those issued by domestic, i.e. within the United States, governmental entities. In contrast to the first two, birth certificate and driver's licenses, this document is normally issued by state departments of motor vehicles to provide an identification document for those persons who do not, for some reason, obtain a driver's license. In 1979, the National Committee on Uniform Traffic Laws and Ordinances, authors of the Uniform Vehicle Code, UVC, provided for the issuance of identification cards for non-drivers and restrictions on the unlawful use of such cars. The UVC, which serves as the model state code for vehicular matters defines a quote personal identification card end quote as quote a document issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles for the sole purpose of identifying the bearer and not authorized for use as a driver's license. UVC section 1-156 1987.
Bruh, I mean, what more can we say? Like seriously, what more can we say, bro?
Right.
So
what more can I say? I'm chilling.
Like, I mean, guys, I mean, what do you guys think? You know what I mean? I yield the floor. Who has what to say, man? Before Brother Aura does the invocation out. Like,
I'm gonna do this quick share too.
All right,
Can y'all see that? This just to show you like my state of mind, like when I was trying to apply for work, right? It says
Flossmoor Street. Does that say Flossmoor Street?
It sure does, bro. I thought that was crazy. That was crazy when I found out where the interview was at. It was on Flossmoor Street, right? I redacted some information there.
Gotcha. I comprehend, but you definitely made sure that Flossmoor Street was shown, though, bro.
Oh yes.
Yo.
Indeed. So I basically was like, I, Moab Bey, hereinafter referred to as applicant, right? With respect to the terms of use and consent to electronic communications and electronic signatures. Number 3, I'm quoting their shit from in their terms of service from their policies. Paper delivery of communications. And number 6, conditions affecting electronic communications. I hereby make the following request in good faith due to circumstances under which electronic, i.e. E-Verify, conditions no longer make it feasible for me to provide communications electronically. These inhibiting circumstances are solely in regards to the onboarding E-Verify process. According to E-Verify's onboarding confirmation action required, new hire onboarding cannot be submitted until the following sections are updated and saved. Please take notice that I hereby elect within legal right to not fill out. This is one of the forms. This is the form I was just telling Malika about that they have you fill out. And if you're like a felon, there's hella questions on this form that will allow them to extract some type of benefit out of you for hiring you as a felon or as a whatever category that they have. So I elect within my legal right to not fill out the WOTC certificate. It's voluntary, as it is voluntary in nature. For this reason, among others, the electronic conditions no longer make it feasible to provide communications electronically. An applicant is forced to make a request for paper delivery of communications in order to complete the onboarding process. Please provide me with all necessary onboarding documents in paper form, or for a timely, cost-free, and convenient alternative, you may send the documents in PDF via email to almoroccanempire@hotmail.com with the option for me to print, fill out, and turn into you in person. Thank you. This fucked them up.
Yeah, what year was that you said again? You said that was some time back, right?
I think that was 2021 or the beginning of 2022. I was trying to find, I have not been able to find someone. Well, I haven't really been trying that hard. I guess I went to like 2 places because my thing is, bro, it's so easy to get an interview, you know what I'm saying? But it's not easy for them to comprehend the law. So it's like, you kind of really just got to sue these people. And that's why, you know, I don't have all the time in the world to sue every single being that violates, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to show that they try to get you with the E-Verify because it makes it easy for them. But we can't do that process because they're going to ask for social. They're going to ask for this and this and that. I use the WOTC form as an excuse because since it's voluntary, but the website forces you to put it in before you can proceed. So I was like, well, hey, this is voluntary, but the system is not letting me proceed without filling it out. So I'm electing to not fill it out. So I need paper communications. Later, it came out that, oh, I don't have a social and all this other stuff too. I have all those phone calls recorded, but it's just, you know, I'm showing this just to show you that when you use your mind, you can think and save yourself from whatever situation you're dealing with. You don't have to conform to what everyone else is doing. There's always a fire escape, right?
Word up, word up. And I think what I'll do in the description for this one, when I go to do the thumbnail in the description, I'll put Malika, let me ask you a question. If you're still there. Because I usually wait till it's time, you know what I mean? And I already know, make sure I get in class before it gets to 100 capacity, right? However, I'll put, you already know, I'll put Lawful Living in the description. Do you want me to put Tuesday and Thursdays friends-in-law link? Because I can do it. I can put the Telegram link too. I just know it just makes more work for when people come in and ask questions that it's just like, y'all gonna get that ass spanked. So it's like, I can do it. If you there, Malika, like I can still do it. You know what I mean? I can put all the references. I can put the Lawful Living, of course, the website. You guys know lawfulliving.com is not only just the jurisprudence, it's a social media app that's centered on jurisprudence, and it's a website. So I got the app. Like I said, I mean, I can show y'all the app for real. Like I got the app on, even though I can go to the website at any time. I got the app. I know there's some Moors out there that when I told them about Lawful Living, they immediately downloaded the app for real. However, the Telegram group, where's the Telegram group? So there's a Telegram group for Lawful Living. So Seven Hill Star got a Telegram also. But that is the Lawful Living group for real, for Telegram or whatever. You know what I mean? And Malika's very active. And as you can see, like right there, you know what I mean? That's her responding for real, you know what I mean? So it's not like stuff just get laid there and then she don't come back. Like, you know, she got a life, she got a family. And you know what I mean? It's people, you know, posting different things. And I mean, things will get responded to for real. Sometimes I just read it and I don't say anything. I just kind of watch how flows go, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes they just be like, yeah, X, Y, and Z. However, I recognize that the Lawful Living Telegram group and the people that are here are so active that it's not, people not letting shit slide. You know what I mean? And if there's a disagreement, people respectfully disagree here. It don't get nasty and shit. You know what I mean? It don't get fucked up for real over here at all. You know what I'm saying? Then the Lawful Living app, I should still be logged in. I don't think I'm not logged in. So
there's dog shit all over the park. We're not letting you slide. We're not letting shit slide.
It's funny too. Look at this. Passport, the Kingdom of God, right? Somebody Interstellar _TV. It's Galatians 5:18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Look at that. King James Version, that's bananas that we, you know what I mean? Put that up. Right? Our citizenship is in heaven. Like, I can't knock that. That's actually pretty funny. These are some funny memes. You know what I'm saying?
Heaven and hell are states of mind.
Yeah, this is countering, or this is in harmony actually with 22 United States Code 212, where it just showed you who's eligible for a passport.
they say heaven and hell are states of mind. So, you know, if I say, you know, I'm on the heaven highway, that's definitely not the state of Kentucky or the state of, you see what I'm saying? That's definitely not that state.
Indeed, bro. And it's interesting too, man. Really just seeing, like I said, guys, Malika's very active in her own social media, you know what I mean, site. So Lawful Living is like, as you can see, it kind of looks like a mix between, you know what I mean, Facebook and Instagram, but it's not Facebook and Instagram, because the only thing you're gonna catch on here is jurisprudence, and there's different, you know what I mean, groups, and she's got instructions on how to join, how to become a part of the community for real, and get a part of the different classes and stuff. And a lot of the groups are ready to go as soon as you join, and then some of the groups you gotta give a little extra love gift. You see what I'm saying, to get the access to it for real. I'm just showing y'all, like right there, like it's really not a game. Like, and then y'all see, like I showed y'all, these my notes I've been taking on Lawful Living since back in May for real of March of 2022. So you see, I got our Telegram link, the Lawful Living Zoom link, the Lawful Living Telegram link. You know what I'm saying? Even when, you know what I mean, we was introduced to another Telegram group that, you know what I mean, fuck them. I'm just gonna say that like that. I don't even give a fuck about that JD group. Like they totally got their head up their asses. However, a lot of these notes, all these notes right here, what'd you say?
No, I'm laughing because I was in that joint that day.
Yeah, screw them. However, here, these are all my notes from Lawful Living for real. Just going to the jurisprudence gym. And sometimes some of these things is just some things that are committed to memory. Like it just really is. You know what I mean? And just really looking at these things and just going over them, you know what I mean? And seeing what things are. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you shouldn't be talking statutes, codes, and policies because blah, 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 yakety schmackety, and that's not right. And you should just be dealing with this. Man, look, we upright and fearless. You see what I'm saying? Moors are men that are upright and fearless. So we use 3 points. We use a 3-prong strategy. As we had read earlier when Malika was sharing that document, that joint document, and what is being said here is that, yeah, we know we Moorish American. That's the truth. And we know that the whole truth is that we descendants pertaining to Moroccans made manifest on American soil here at a Maxim at the North Gate, right? However, you know what I mean, we're going to also use these statutes, codes, and policies we're going to use those to assist in who we are by pointing out to these people in their own rules, like Brother R just showed as an example, pertaining to who we are not. So you're not about to hold us to your statutes, codes, and policy because we don't work for you. We don't have a contract. That reminds
me of what you wrote. One of the sentences you wrote with regard to the Google situation or the YouTube situation where you said, like, peaceful greetings to the beings under whose jurisdiction I am not. Yeah, period. I like that intro.
Yeah, period. And which, by the way, yeah, man, like I said, even when I'm, complete what I'm doing, bro, like, yeah, that's why I told you, man, you going to just sit down for a second because I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and simple and to the point. And, you know what I mean? Be like, look, we just suing Google, doing business as YouTube. And, they will never remove a video or anything dealing with Seven Hill Star ever again in life. However, when I put it in, any Moorish American, anywhere, they're not going to do that with. Period. Like, I'm not fucking around. You see what I'm saying? Here go all the definitions for state in every so-called state of corporation. You see what I'm saying? Like, to show you can't ever be in a state if you're not an employee. So this for every state. When Malika had posted that link, her and Sonny committed it to my notes. You see what I'm saying? So since, look, boom, Delaware, right? Title 30. Remember, Google doing business as YouTube is saying that they incorporated under the laws of Delaware. Okay. So y'all in the state, and for Delaware, state means any state of the United States, the District of Columbia. We know district actually means bank, right? Bank of Columbia. The Commonwealth pertaining to Puerto Rico, any territory or possession pertaining to the United States and any foreign country or political subdivision thereof. Okay, cool. That's the case. So Google doing business as YouTube is a political subdivision. Mm-hmm. That's because they organize under the state laws of Delaware. Okay, cool. Then you just gonna have to deal with it, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and show what we did in suing Google doing business as YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not just gonna speak about it. I'm gonna be about it. Go ahead, I yield, bro.
Yo, I was gonna say that's funny how they actually operate government at different places. Like, for example, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Commonwealth of Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth territory owned by the United States. So, like, it's so funny how, everything is in Moorish Latin out there, right? I know there's stop signs and all of that is in Moorish Latin. They have their little government structure set up. However, it's owned by the United States. Like, you understand that the government that's operating on your land it's like people think that they have a government or whatever, but like that they're free. Like they think that they don't realize, like, yo, that shit is owned by another corporation. And you're claiming that you're that. Like if I say, okay, JCPenney's is owned by Target, for example. I'm not saying it actually is, just an example. JCPenney owns Target, and then you're over here talking about I'm a Target, I'm a citizen of Target.
I'm a United Targetian.
Yeah, I'm a Targetian. Like, here's my Targetian flag. It's the same colors as the JCPenney flag for some reason. Why is it the same colors? Interesting. Because that's what the so-called Puerto Rican flag is, the same colors as the United States banner for a reason.
But distinguished from Borinquen.
Oh yeah, because even Taino is a newer word that was placed on the Moors by colonists. Because prior to that, there was Arawak and Loconos.
Look at that.
And it's just so funny how like they just like, I told this one guy how we were Moors one time, and like he was ready to turn up on me because he has the Puerto Rican flag tattooed. He was like, I bleed Puerto Rican.
I bleed corporation. See that corporation?
I bleed Commonwealth territory of the United States.
Hey, what's your blood type? Federal? Let me stop.
What's it called? Tribal worker? Looking at
flat out, bro. That's why I started. People be like, "Oh, we Indians, y'all better stop with that 25 USC 5304 bullshit." Always remember this: if they're on federal reservations, that means they are Federal Reserve agents. If they're Federal Reserve agents, then check out the reason. Check out why, you'll see why they are on Federal Reservations. For real. So don't because talking about, oh, you talking about the people of the feather wearing headdresses. Stop that shit. You're a fucking collective bargaining agreement agent.
They're still talking black and white too.
So
stuck in that paradigm.
You can Geronimo slow down that Tonto ass now because you sound and look like an idiot.
That's what
oh, you sound like an asshole. Stop it. Please stop it. All right, bro, you ready to do the invocation out, man?
Islam, bro.
All right, Islam. Guys, you're gonna stand we're gonna stand with, as we started earlier, feet on the 45, all five appendages on the left hand extended, just the index and middle appendage extended on the right. And I am facing east, which is symbolic to going within, metaphysically speaking. East is within. And we're going to repeat after our beloved brother, in whom we're well pleased, Brother Hasan Bey. Islam.
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 Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Gratitude indeed to you all also. I'd like to thank you all. Mother Sahar, Michael, Dunn, who else has showed up? Slim, Martin, CDM, who else? And well, you guys already know Brother Terrell and Brother R are here. And anybody else that sees this in the dimensions to manifest, turn, quote unquote, future, we thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you all next day, right? Brother Sean was like, he stayed flossing on Flossmore Street earlier when he was reading that.
I know. I know. I really did, yo. I really did. Like, they loved me. Like, they was ready to bring me on board and everything. Like, yo, we're going to train you to do this. And like, all right, cool. Yeah. Well, I got you. Then next thing you know, they start asking for them Federal Reserve agent instruments. And I was like,
it's funny how they use the term on board too. That's very interesting. I think
onboarding.
That's be another class. We should really look up that and go in on board. It made me think about, like, you know, like a train, like all aboard. It's like,
yeah. That made me think about Monopoly, like the board game, on the board. I'm not on the board.
I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking about when they loading, like, people getting on a ship too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all aboard.
All of that. I'm thinking about, do you make executive decisions with the rest of the board members? I'm looking at board so many ways, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You get to nail some things.
The Ouija board. The Ouija board for the Saturn worshippers.
I know, right? Like that too. Like, and that's what's happening. They're definitely
right.
That shit. That's what's definitely happening with this documentation. So it's just really, it's call it onboarding process. That's interesting. I think that would be something to look into. However, bro, I yield. You can close this on. Matter of fact, let me give you the host there so that you can actually close it on out, man.
It's funny that the symbol for a sign looks like the woman's breast.
You said the symbol for what?
For the sun.
Yeah, it's funny because it that's one way of looking at it, because the dot does look like an areola, right?
Yeah.
Or you can look at the whole sun symbol as the areola itself, and the center dot being the nipple. It's also the center portion is supposed to be the actual sun. The dot is the sun, and the circle is actually everything revolving around it. That's another way of looking at the sun symbol, right?
Yeah.
And the sun is the sustainer of life. So yes, when we exit our mother stargate, that is the first thing that we look for. We look for that areola, because we're sustaining our life via that Milky Way.
Islam.
Because it's galactic. Gaia, meaning, like mother, galactic, Gaia, lactic, right? One mother's breast and giving a suck. So yeah, bro.
Happy AstroCivics Sunday. We're coming with these videos every Sunday, every Friday, every Monday, every Wednesday. We're in jurisprudence class every Tuesday, every Thursday. Saturday's the only day off, and we're still going hard on Saturdays. We thank everybody in the chat, all mothers and sons in attendance. We appreciate you, all the support and love. And we're gonna see you guys Monday for your Intuition Monday.
Yeah, with Brother Sean. Yep, Brother Sean's gonna kick that off. Matter of fact, I gotta talk to Brother Sean tonight. So once I finish this, I'll be calling Brother Sean and see what that is, see what time. Because I know me and loved ones got a little engagement to get to for Monday. So I gotta make sure that I'm me and Brother Sean able to do what we able to do around that actually occurring. Other than that, we like to thank Mother Malika for joining us for our AstroCivics Sunday. And we like to thank our brother Terrell Tamari Bey with the sauce joining us also. And you guys already know, like Brother R said, Tuesdays and Thursdays for the Jurisprudence Gym. Link up with Malika through lawfulliving.com, bro. It's on you. I yield, bro.
Islam. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and close this shit out. Ayo, supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Always.
Stay sincere.
Always.
Be sincere. Be truth. Right? And keep growing. Islam. Peace and love.
Namaste, y'all. Islam, peace and love.